All right, ready? 1, 3, 3, 7. Hello and welcome to episode 23 of Nerds and Words. I'll be your host today, Tim Allen 1337, and today we have a very special guest. We are joined by So Frosty, the co-host, one of the co-hosts of the Value Pack podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. And I'm supposed to insert witty line here, but I got nothing, dude. I just feel like all of the wind has been taken out of my sails by Potion Shop's Get Up.
Yeah, so for those of you on Spotify, you'll hear in a moment that Potion Shop is not only wearing a mask, but creating a accent that I'm not really sure is safe for work, but that's fine. Potion Shop, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing good. It's good to be in the Halloween spirit. Thank you for having me on the podcast today. It'll be an honor to be here. Thank you.
And Moreland TV.
Hold on, I gotta turn Potion up a little bit more. He's back. He's back at 200%.
So I know I say this every week, but we actually have a shitload of content. I'm really excited to have So Frosty here. One of the long-standing video podcast people. I think you guys have been doing it for over a year now, haven't you? Have you hit episode 56 yet?
We're on episode 84, and yeah, we've been doing it in December will be our second year.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, I'm on episode 57.
Yeah, you're almost getting to the episode you were in.
Oh, shit. I was on twice.
You were.
You've been on twice as many times as me?
Yeah, well, I'm twice as big, so.
Is that in height or pounds?
Both.
Yeah, no, we only had Moreland on once. That's too bad. We haven't had Potion Shop on yet because, he's kind of on every episode. His name is Reslar.
You see, I just play games too much, and so that's why I just don't have time. That's really the truth.
So we normally start our podcast by just going around the circle here and just talking about what you did this week. If you want to talk about real life stuff, that's fine. It's just kind of an open forum, a little bit of an icebreaker. Potion Shop, do you want to go first so you can take that fucking mask off?
Oh, please. I would love it. All right. I have grinded a total of 600 skill points on my DK. This skill point EXP is broken as shit. I went from 550 to, I can't do math. How much is this? 1,277. So it's
still doing it.
It's very good. Yes, very good event.
Can you just stay like this, Potion?
Nah, this mask is fucking bullshit.
Who are you modeling this after? I know you've got someone in mind that you're trying to sound like. Is there an actor, a character?
You think I have high IQ for such a thing? No, I just heard somebody once, and this is what I have in my memory. I just make it up as I go.
This is like the most articulate you've been on this podcast, I do have to say.
I think he's one of the kids from the movie Not Another Teen Movie. The guy that's just wearing like the Asian garb for no reason, even though he's completely white.
I'm too old to know what you're talking about.
Dude, it's one of the all-time greats.
Take off the mask, Potion Shop. We're doing a podcast.
Okay. Hey, it was good to be in the Halloween spirit while I lasted. I will see you guys in like 1 minute.
This is my first time on the show, but I have a weird feeling that Tim has to say that every episode. Take off the mask, Potion Shop. We're doing a goddamn podcast.
Well, it's not like I don't say that exactly, but it's something to that effect. You know, it's every week it's something different.
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
Last week it was talking about cups and loot. Marlon, how was your week, buddy?
I spent most of the week doing horse dailies in Medaya, and I still can't figure out what a wild T3 looks like. So that's how my week has been going.
Aren't they by Zarka? Serenity Shrine?
Yeah, but that's far away from Stonetail Wasteland. I guess it's not that far if I go over through Tungrad Forest.
That's a little bit of a hike, but I mean that's where T3s live, right? Why do I know that?
I mean, they live everywhere.
You've been playing this game way too long.
I've never caught a horse in my fucking life.
No, but you studied all the horse guides.
There's horse guides?
Probably, yeah.
Anything else, Moreland? You do anything else this week?
Man, I don't think I did.
You didn't play a lot of BDO this week, did you? You finished Subnautica.
I did. I beat all of Subnautica without dying. Was that this week? I thought that was last week. Did I not talk about that already?
You finished it after the stream, I think, or the next day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I beat Subnautica without dying, so go me.
Clap.
And then I've been playing a shitload of EverQuest, getting ready for Ruins of Kunark next week.
Nice.
And just trying to get this T10 horse ready to go. Trying to figure out if Lakiaro is viable again for these mythical feathers. My feeling is probably no, but if it is, maybe it's time to finally make that Lakiaro guide that I've been putting off for 3 years.
That sounds cool,
That's
dude.
pretty much it. That's all I got.
Frosty, how was your week, man? What have you been up to?
I've just been gearing up, man. I'm a grinder. I don't do any life skills or anything whatsoever. I just kill mobs in a circle for hours and hours and hours. And I made a Teturo spelt the other day, and now I'm trying to get back to 297 AP and just it's not working really because I need to save up 60 bill, but Caphras orders are actually finally going through. So my money is going down, not up. It's pretty exciting stuff, man.
Can I ask you, have you ever listened to an episode of our podcast?
I have listened to portions of a few episodes. Yes.
Were they okay?
Never seen one with a guest, though.
Never seen one with a guest. Okay.
No.
I was just curious. I listened to the first couple hours of your last episode, and I guess there's I need to ask you if you're still in a relationship.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I know it was harsh. Miss Frosty, she was a guest on the stream. She came on and she one-clicked my Teturo spell all the way from base, and then proceeded to tell everyone, as they were like asking her questions about me, proceeded to tell everyone that she thinks it's good that I play BDO and that I have friends on here because in real life I don't really. And then she paused, and it was sad and uncomfortable for everybody, you know. So yeah, no, we're still together.
That's nice.
She is my only IRL friend, so I have to keep it going as long as I can.
Good for you. Are you taller than her?
Much, yes.
Yeah, that's cool. Good for you.
Strange question, but yeah.
That's always Tim's question. That's all he wants to know about.
That's not true. I just like to throw questions that get people off. This is the icebreaker section. Okay. Anyway.
What's your favorite color? What
It
size
makes Potion
shoe
Shop-
do you wear?
What is
it makes Potion Shop so uncomfortable when you ask him anything. Just any question whatsoever that doesn't specifically have to do with BDO. And then if you ask him too many BDO questions, he starts thinking that you're figuring something out about him.
Are you keeping stats on the taller question? Like on average, are the guys more taller than the females?
Am I keeping stats? No, I was just asking a question, bro.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you write it down. I have no idea.
I write everything down.
So you got to go through your notes and put together a stat log, dude.
I keep all my notes pinned to my wall. I haven't gotten to this part yet. It's like right over there, and then we'll get over here. So my week, I had a typical Tim Allen week, which is filled with drama and insanity and stuff like that. The whole IDC mapping and that guy Haxing, always salty AF. That thing was happening last Saturday as the podcast was going on. So he continued to make some just excellent videos. After the podcast, I watched him do what he calls puss-ups. That was a lot of fun. And we watched some other content from him, which is wonderful. And then some other stuff happens that's dramatic and crazy that we don't talk about here, but that's okay. But I've had like a really just great week. I've been in such a good headspace. I got a new sponsor for my stream I'm really excited about. Thank you, Marlon. And I got my Tet axe back. I blew it up to go pin like a month ago to try to take the wind out of the sails of Marlon buying
you got
a pen axe. Yeah, I finally grind. Dude, I ended up doing like a shit, it was like 14 hours in Sakraya and made over 3 bill just to like knock out the last bits of the money I needed to buy it. I tapped it 2 more times. I failed Tet Blackstar 59 times in a row. I didn't go for the 60th. But I finally got it. So then yesterday, thank you. Yesterday, I went Succession Guardian for the first time. I've been playing Guardian for 6 months. I've never really played Succession, and I'm in Villainous now, and they have Jude is a really good Succession. So he's been Guardian, so he's been backseat gaming, helping me out, and I'm having a ton of fun. It's such a bursty little mobile class. It's still a little slow. It's still Guardian, but I'm having a lot of fun just like playing a different version. You know, it took a little while to get used to it, but then like it all just clicked all at once. I still have some like muscle memory, and when I panic, I need to do some better things and learn more about it. But I'm doing way more damage as Succession than I was in Awakening.
And PvE
So I'm
or
really
PvP?
enjoying it. Oh, PvP, dude. PvP.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be terrible in large scale or node wars. Like, if you have if you're real good and you practice real hard, you might be able to be successful in node wars. You can be successful in node wars. But the Awakening kit lends itself so much to node wars. So I went through, did a PvP, a PvE, and I spent money on another skill set so I could have suck all the new add-ons and stuff, and went through and tried a couple different things out. And you know, it was really interactive and had a lot of fun putting all that stuff together. I've done a lot of streaming this week. I've done a lot of BDO. I've thought about doing some other games and stuff like that, but I've just been really focused and honed in on this, and it's been great. Been sleeping well. The CBD products have really kind of changed my life. I've worked out every single day except for today this week. I don't want to brag too much, but I'm fucking gaming inside and out of gaming.
You're gaming outside of gaming?
I am. Can you even imagine that?
No, I'm having trouble imagining that.
I'll show you later. Ooh.
Okay.
Off wick. I dropped my ooh-woos.
I also played Doom. My chat reminded me. I was wondering why my week seemed so empty. Yeah, it's because I spent a couple days I spent melting my brain trying to beat the Doom DLC. So yeah, I also did that.
I sat down for a fucking couple of hours and watched you play that, and I realized you're better at video games than I am.
It's still pretty hard.
Yeah. I watched you do like the whole section of like the toxic area or whatever.
Yeah, that area is kind of special.
I don't like that in a Doom game. I want like Mars or Phoebe or Io or something like that, where you're going inside and out of space.
The first part of the swamp level was really cool, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, there's fog and you can't see. Like, oh well, okay.
It felt uninspired, honestly.
Yeah.
It was bad level design.
The rest of the DLC has been pretty solid, though. I mean, they're kind of a little bit lazy with just throwing the Barons, like 3 or 4 of those like 2-story tall, undodgeable boys in every single fight. But yeah, I mean, it's still fun.
Do you are you enjoying that game? It seems like you're just like metacriticing it as you play it.
I think it's because you saw me during the foggy part, which was the least enjoyable part of the base or DLC that I've encountered so far. Up until that point, I was enjoying it quite a bit. I also hit like a cap, and I think what I realized is that I can't play Doom for more than like maybe 3 or 4 hours. When I'm on like hour 5.5, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm out of Doom at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually noticed like 5 minutes before you ended your stream that like your aim, like your grenades you were lagging behind. Like you were just fucking tired.
Yeah.
It's intense. It's really intense.
Is it rewarding though? Like although it's
dude, it is super rewarding. It almost gives me that. Hold on, my cats are fighting. 1 second.
Again, Jesus.
This is Doom Eternal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a single player game, or is it multiplayer as well?
I think they might have added multiplayer, but it's primarily single player. Everybody plays.
I don't know if anybody's really playing Doom for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never got into
literally every day. They're fine until I start streaming, and then they go fucking crazy. But anyways, it's similar to like struggling on a Dark Souls boss for a couple hours and finally beating it. That's how I feel after beating some of these. It's not like quite that hard, but yeah, it's that's how I feel after beating some of these Doom levels. It's like because you're on edge the entire time. And like you can't even barely breathe because things are just firing at you constantly, and you make one mistake and you die. And so yeah, when you finally beat it, it feels pretty good.
But like you were like analyzing the mobs that you were fighting. You're like, I rate this mob like a 7 out of 10. You know, there's undodgeable, and then he was running while he was standing still. I didn't really like that mob. They could have designed that better.
I was probably a little grumpy at that point.
No, but I really enjoyed it. It was I felt like it was really quintessentially you. I love it when you dig into these other games because I wish I was as good as you and play it. But cool. Yeah, good weeks all around then. Sounds good. Can we dive into the exploit stuff real quick before we do the normal BDO patch notes thing? Because I've got a little bit of juice on this here. And I know you guys were trying to piece it together on the value pack last week too, Frosty. So I can go through. I'm still in the IDC Discord, and the guys come in, Dorscht and all the guys still come in and like update me with what's going on. So let me just update everybody.
Give us the backstory on it, so people who didn't hear last week's can know what's going on, and then give us the update.
Thank you so much for jumping in and saying that as I was saying it.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
So what happens now that we can like go back and really see, because it was still kind of developing. IDC and a couple other guilds went to Valencia nodes, and there was packet manipulation. The person who manipulated the packets was banned, ostensibly, and the guilds received quadrillions of silver in funds. And so what one guild did, IDC, was spend they bought a house in Valencia and bid like quadrillions of silver on it, so they could, because there's a arbitrary cap, you can't do a payout if you have more than 10 quadrillion silver. So then they brought their funds down to 10 quadrillion so they could do a payout.
Isn't it amazing that the devs thought of putting a cap in case of something like this, but the cap they decided on was 10 quadrillion?
Yeah, it was just like something crazy, right? Like if they're hacking, it's obvious somebody's hacking if they get to this point, kind of thing.
They knew sea monster hunting was good, so they had to put the cap high. Shit was real good.
Yeah, there's probably a couple guilds getting 8 or 9 quadrillion during that time.
The packet sniffing thing was that ban, just to clarify, was considered separate by them, right? Like not related at all to any of the 5 guilds.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
There was 2 people who got banned for packet manipulation, if I read it correct.
They said that they think the people who are packet manipulating accidentally increased the nodes, and they were actually trying to break some other part of the game.
Which is interesting that would happen. So maybe they were trying to like sell an item to a vendor, and then they did that instead by picking the wrong packet.
Potion, can you turn your mic up just a little bit, man?
Yeah, please.
All right, there you go.
Thank you. One more time, talk again.
Yep, that is it right there.
Still low. Okay, so what happened is IDC was the only guild that did a payout. So this is Fresh, right? We all know him as Fresh. So he got his funds down to 10 quadrillion so he could do a payout. He did a payout. And then, last week I said that I reported myself once I saw it because I was like, I don't want to be anywhere near this. These guys mishandle everything. I don't want to be a part of any judgment. 27 billion isn't worth it. So then the payouts go out. It was about 27 billion, all that kind of stuff. Fresh goes on Norelio's stream and talks about how he knew he was going to get banned. My guild had nothing to do with it. They all wear Velcro shoes, all that kind of stuff. And so they lock a bunch of accounts. They lock the accounts of people. There were some people who didn't spend money that had their accounts locked. There were some people who were sprouts and didn't receive a payout that got their account locked. But all but 2 or 3 people in IDC got their account locked right up to the patch. And then the patch comes out. We all saw what they said. They actually specifically called out that they were permanently banning the guild master of the guild who did the payouts, which is Fresh. There was only one guild that did it. And so this is as close as they've really come to naming and shaming, which I don't know if, it's so borderline. They won't give us names of hackers, but they really kind of outed Fresh on this on the forums. So I was pretty surprised to see that. And then people who received a payout got 3-day suspensions on top of the week that they were locked. So they're already locked for a week, and then they got 3-day suspension. So they're out of their suspension now.
I think that's fair, though. Do you think that's fair? Yeah, I think that's fair. Because, I mean, like, all right, you accidentally spent silver, right? It was maybe clear or not clear to you if that was against the rules. I think it's reasonable. I think it's very reasonable.
Yeah, to clear, I think they mentioned that it was only people that actually took the payout that got the post
and spent it. There was 3
and spent it.
Yeah,
I think it was a little light.
Right.
I think if you get a 27 bill payout and you spend it without asking any questions, then you're kind of a dumbass and you kind of need a break from the game that's longer than whatever they gave. Would they say 3 days?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it ended up being 10.
Yeah, because it did 7 originally for the timeout just to lock it, and then they did 3 for the actual punishment.
So
okay, so they added it together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't time served or anything. Being a guild leader comes with a certain amount of responsibility and requires you to act to the best interest of your fellow members. The guild leader involved not only received a payout of 273 billion, but by distributing it to the members deliberately, some otherwise innocent players in the exploit and put their account standing at risk, at the very least causing them to be locked out of the game for several days, a week. As such, the guild leader involved will be permanently banned from Black Desert Online. That's pretty close to naming and shaming.
All right, they didn't name the guild, and they said guild leader. So unless you're paying attention to like social media and adding 1 + 1 together, you're not going to know that. And I think that's fine. That's how most things are anyway, right? Like most people who get like a 3-day ban, you would never know about. Like they could ban me for 3 days, and if I don't show up for 3 days and don't tell anybody, then no one would know. So I think it's pretty reasonable.
Didn't they do similar things with mapping? They were like this number of people, like the ringleaders, as they called them. They were like, 3 people got permanently banned. Or like, I think in this case it seems specific because there's one guy who kind of went above and beyond to be a, like an idiot.
Well, I mean,
during this whole thing.
And
he's the one who, like, if there was multiple guild leaders, I'm sure they would have said.
Who even cares? Because he went on a podcast. He went on a podcast and said it. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
So it gets better, though. That's not the good part. That's just like an honorable mention.
Okay.
So Dorsch is a officer of the guild. He took the payout and bought some items, right? He says, they removed the stuff I bought with the money, removed a Tet Nuver with crystals that I made half a year ago, and didn't give me 13 billion silver of my own money. So he just went to like negative 27 billion, and they arbitrarily removed some items with crystals that he made a half year ago. And they took money out of his account. So like they just fucked it up. And he sends a message to Rotaz, and he's like, yeah, I don't fucking care, basically.
So he didn't spend any of the money?
He did spend the money. They took the items back. They negated
then who
his
cares?
account. Because they took an item that he made a half a year ago.
Who cares? Boo-hoo! He should have gotten a penalty for taking the silver anyways. These guys are lucky that they got away with minus 27 bill. They should be getting minus 90 bill for this. Like,
yeah. And to be clear, how for people who don't know, so people got a 27 billion payout, everybody but the guild leader. And let's say you spent 10 billion of that, they would remove the item that you bought for the 10 billion, and then they would remove the remaining amount, which would be 17 billion from your account. So you'd have the item removed, and you'd have the remaining silver removed. Now, apparently there was some bugs with that, but
imagine using exploited silver to buy stuff on the market, fuck up the game so that the market has to be locked for everyone, create a bunch of work for the GMs, and then nitpick about how your punishment is doled out. Get out of here, kid.
Well, no. So I'm okay. I'm with you, right? There should be harsher punishments for all this. But they're like arbitrarily like deleting items that these guys have had forever. And there's no like consistency, right? So the thing that really gets me is, and what scared me about this entire thing is that Cacao Games was going to have to not only decide how to dole out punishment, which they fucking shit the bed on we had good vibes last week, right? And he's like, well, I really respect, Cacao Games because they're not in control of everything. Fine. Got it. Right. But they're in control of some of this stuff, and they're arbitrarily taking items away from people. And then they're locking people's accounts who didn't even receive the payouts. Like every way that I thought that they could fuck this up, they fucked it up.
I don't
not
think
too
they
mad
fucked it
about
up that much. Yeah, I think they handled it pretty well. Like if there's a few items that got messed with that shouldn't have gotten messed with, dude, like they have to go through 100 different accounts and figure out like which item went where and what silver was spent on what, and like if any enhancing is done. Like if they mess up 1 or 2 bits of that, I'm sorry, but like don't take the silver next time.
Yeah, I think this is a good example. Yeah.
Well, the thing is too is like they last time during the mapping thing when they didn't take the items away and all they did is reduce the silver, the entire community was pissed because it was like, well, that's just a loan, right? Like they got the item. This time they actually went through and took everything out, and even if there are some mistakes that they took out, it's kind of like I don't know, collateral damage for being a moron.
It's a big improvement over last time also, and I think that's the main thing here. It's like it's just a big improvement because we see they're making baby steps towards the right direction, right? They didn't deal out like these outrageous bans to a whole bunch of people. You know, one person that definitely can arguably deserve a permaban, and the other people got a 10 days. So I don't know. I think it's very
spot on impression. These people are my friends, so I have and I realize they did something wrong. The people who took it and spent the money should be punished, and it shouldn't be 1-to-1. But I don't know.
I think
I respect your opinion.
Does he have any screenshots on like what got lost, or like he said that a whole weapon that had he didn't put crystals in it or anything with the money and it just disappeared?
Yeah, we don't have the context either, right? Maybe he bought a pin Nuver and they removed the Tet Nuver instead, right? Like who even knows what they could have messed up. I think the main thing here is like you had to make 3 mistakes, right? Your guild had to get a payout, which is not in your control. Then you had to take the payout, which is in your control, and then you had to spend the money, which is also in your control. So you had to make 2 mistakes on your own in order to receive this fuck up. And then on top of that, the third thing is like the cacao had to mess up also, and that's so nuanced for me to even care about. It's just
really
yeah, it is.
I think like if they get it 98% right, I'm kind of okay with that, man. Like I don't really care that much about the 2%. It's not like these are like legit players that are getting screwed over. These are people who took the silver and spent it. If someone like took the silver and just let it sit in their storage and didn't spend it and they lost items, then I would be worried. Because they don't deserve that. But if they went and spent it and then like the GMs messed up 1 or 2 items when it comes to fixing it, I'm sorry, but like the GMs have a limited amount of time and they got other shit to deal with. Like they're kind of allowed to make 1 or 2 mistakes when going through this many accounts. I just don't have that much. I get that these are your friends, but I just don't have that much sympathy for them. Next time, just don't put yourself in this situation.
Yeah. And then, like I'll say this just for like Tim's sake, like there's a chance that someone could have received the payout, said, "Hey, 27 billion, that must have been a crazy update this week," and then just taken that and spent it. And then there's that, but that's such a nuanced case out of the big player base. It's like sometimes like there's allowable errors,
I
think 27 bill is big enough to where you ask first. You just check real quick. That's all you do.
Are there a lot of people this is happening to or has happened to? Like I haven't really seen many posts about this, so it sounds like an isolated incident with just one person.
One guild got a payout, so up to 100 members.
No, I mean the lost items that Tim is referring to.
Oh yeah, but that could only happen to those 100 in the guild.
He sold items so he could buy like distos or something with his extra payout, and he didn't get those items that he sold back. He's
so
clarifying
they said in their post, well, they clarified at least with crystals, so I guess you can kind of assume they said like, so for example, if you take out crystals and put in new crystals that you bought with the stolen money, that they were not going to give back your original crystals. So if he sold items and they removed the bought items, they're not gonna return those items. That's kind of just
it's more power to the chorus, right? Like
so I get it, right? Like they should have done what I did, put in a ticket, see if it was above board, if it was loud, all that kind of stuff. But it would have been cool if like I want some consistency in the moderation. I've been saying this since we've done this podcast, and they may have done a good job or a bad job or whatever you want to say. I just wish that they treated everybody the same, right? Like here's the punishment for fresh permaban. You're a fucking shitbag. Stay out of our game. Here's the punishment for the people who didn't take the payout. Nothing. Great. Here's the punishment for people who put it there and left it there and didn't spend it. Awesome. Here's the punishment for the people who took it and spent it. There you go. Not like I lost items, they're over there, they're over here. GM Rotaz told me he was going to do this, but it ended up being that. That's what this is. It's a big fucking clusterfuck.
I
I
feel
don't
like
think it's a clusterfuck, dude.
But
you don't know these people. You're not in this Discord talk. That's why I'm bringing this up. These people are coming up to me. They're like, my account's super fucked. All this weird shit happened. Like, why didn't they just do what they say they were going to do? I know you don't care. I know you don't care.
If I'm working for Cacao, and first of all, we know these guys are understaffed. We know that they have like way too many tickets. None of them get paid. They like the Cacao Games executives refuse to hire the proper amount of people that it takes to run this game. So now they wake up at it's like 8 a.m. when we start blowing up their even earlier EU time, wherever they're at. Mm-hmm. Now they've got to go through all these different accounts to clean this stuff up. If I'm one of those GMs and I've got, like a 6-day backlog of tickets that I've also got to take care of today, I'm not going to be that careful. Like, and I don't think that we should get mad at those GMs for not being like ultra careful if they delete one or two of the wrong things. But honestly, dude, more power to them. They got other more important shit to deal with. This isn't the time for them to be super careful. The penalties were already light in the first place. Like, just yeet the items and move on. I don't have any problem with this compared to how they've handled shit in the past, which you've heard me be highly critical of. I think this is 1,000 times improved. Mm-hmm. Like if there's a couple errors here or there, I have no feeling about it, man. I'm totally fine.
I think expecting a perfect outcome is not reasonable, right? I think this is a reasonable outcome. For if this happened every single time that there was a big issue like this, I wouldn't really raise any major complaints.
Tim, based on their clarification that you said in chat, they clarified it kind of is consistent with what they were going to do. They were never going to return any items that you sold or removed or changed at all. Like, that was never in the cards. So, like, if you spent the money and you sold your items, you were not going to get your items back. So, at least the way it's described so far from what you said and what they clarified, it does sound kind of like it's fairly consistent because that was always going to be the plan.
So, I guess this, right, if you spent 1 silver on, like, let's say a Tet Zarka that was fake silver, not honest silver, then they would remove the Tet Zarka and you would lose the additional income, and I think that's fair.
How do you return the Zarka if someone else bought it? Are you taking it from that person?
This is straight from GM Rotaz, from Dorsch.
Okay.
For example, if you spent 40 billion silver, you will receive 13 billion back. That is from GM Rotaz.
Yeah,
he spent 40 billion silver and got nothing
and I'm
back.
sure that GMs did the best they could with limited time, and they probably spent 20 minutes per person, and if they had spent 30 minutes instead, maybe they wouldn't have made this mistake, but they probably didn't have the 30. They only had the 20. And I bet you these tools that they're using to figure all this stuff out, I bet you these tools suck ass. Think about how bad the UI is in this game for the players. Imagine the dev tools that Pearl Abyss begrudgingly makes for the publisher that they don't give a fuck about to go through the logs and figure out like who spent what when. It's probably a nightmare, dude. I just don't I forgive them for making a couple mistakes here. That's it.
I don't know, man. So I come from a place where I used to design kitchens. I did a lot of kitchen design. Okay. And the software that you have to use to design a kitchen is fucking atrocious. It's horrible. But if you miss a measurement or something because the software sucks, you're still ass at your job. And
but you're making a kitchen for someone who's paying for a kitchen, not for someone who stole a kitchen.
Right. So I understand that. I'm trying to focus on a specific point here that. I get it. I get it.
If it's a legit customer, I'm 100% on board.
These people are legit customers. It was
they're not. They're cheaters. They're lucky that they don't get banned.
Yeah,
I have a little more sympathy.
I mean, he cheated and he went above and beyond, and with the money, he started selling all of his items. It's like, I don't know. That's really hard to be like, hey, there's no guarantee if you sell all your items and you cheated and they're going to have to do something about it. There's no guarantee that you're going to get exactly what you lost back when you're selling your items. It seems like that actually does seem super complex to.
So I don't want to be condescending. I don't want to be condescending, but when you're in a guild and you're with a guild master, these guys really liked Fresh, right? They're followers. These people are followers. They're good people, but they're followers. Fresh did this thing. They followed their guild leader, whether it was right, wrong, or indifferent. They all kind of went in. This group of people really fucking went in on it. And I've got a little bit of sympathy because I put all of that onus really on Fresh. Fresh should not have done this. It was a bad move. It was below all this stuff. And these guys are being told one thing, and now something else is happening. And it's really fucked up their account, all that kind of stuff. So I have an ounce of sympathy for them. And sure. I just don't really accept that Kakao Games is lazy and does a bad job and it's hard work. These people are paid to moderate this game, and they always do a bad job. I want to get that message out concisely because that's how I feel. I don't want to. I just don't want to let it skate by.
If you look at the people who got their like Tet Nuver deleted on accident are the only ones who think they did a bad job. The rest of the community is not upset about this at all.
Yeah, I think there's two reasons for banning people, right? One is actually to prevent people from repeating the same mistake again, which is probably never going to happen originally, right? Because it's not like they are going to get another payout like this probably. But two, it's to make an example so that people in the future also, if they get a fucking huge payout or some bug happens and they can get billions of silver, that they don't do it. And sometimes like these people have to be made an example, and sometimes it means the punishment's going to be a little too harsh. And if that means they have to remove an extra item or there's a mistake made along the way, that's kind of fine. And if you compare this to mapping, it's way better than mapping. If you compare this to how they've handled other situations in the past, it's way better. I'm just looking for incremental improvements, and this definitely seems like an incremental improvement to me. If there's still some bugs, hopefully if this happens again in the future, they will not have these type of bugs next time. But I think this is incremental improvement from the mapping and other things we've seen. So I'm happy. As a player, I'm happy.
I mean, you knew right away not to fuck with this. So like, I get that the other people got caught up in the groupthink or whatever, but you didn't. And I mean, personal responsibility, man. Like we're out here gaming, and people should know by now that not to fuck with this stuff. There's been so many controversies in the last year about different exploits and gray areas and whatever. Like, people should know by now, if something like this comes up, pause and think, ask the GMs for clarification. Don't just rush to the market and spend the silver.
I completely agree, right? I'm not saying that these guys deserve a break or anything like that. I just want, if GM Rotaz tells people this is what's going to happen and this is what's on the official post, I just want them to do that.
I think Kakao did a fine job. I think it
kind of sucks that they just fucking start ripping other shit away because they're not paying attention.
I think part of this is going to be like agree to disagree on this topic a little bit, because I don't think any of us here are probably going to like change our kind of opinions on this. But I do think it's good that we had both sides of the conversation so that people can understand what's going on.
I'm not a exploiter simp or anything like that. You know, I just kind of feel for the guys.
And Dorsh in chat saying like that he's saying, I mean, it sounds more like it's like GM Rotaz's fault for not understanding what they were going to do. Because here's the thing, like the people, like when they clarified with the crystals, they were very, very clear on the crystals. If you took crystals out of your weapon and destroyed them and put new crystals in your weapon, and then with money that you spent from the exploit or from your guild payout, that you were not going to get those crystals back. So I don't understand why. It's kind of the same difference. If you sold your item and you got rid of your item and spent the money, I just don't see a world where they're going to compensate you for the extra decisions you made to get rid of your stuff.
Sure.
It's kind of like,
I don't disagree. I don't know why he said it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I would like to wrap this up though and move on, because we have a lot more stuff to cover, and we've already been at the podcast for like, I don't know, a while now. So I'd like to move on if that's possible.
Yeah, I think we've each said our piece. I mean, it's I don't know, it's an interesting topic, but it's crazy.
Sure. And I was re-listening to the podcast last week, and I was going, I was saying that I really don't look for drama. And literally, we thought there was another guild that did the payout. It was literally the guild I happened to be in, and that's it.
I thought that was crazy too. I'm
all fucking wrapped up in this shit. I can't escape it. I like it, so it's okay, but it's still insane.
So the next topic is naval fame or ocean karma. Apparently they're not done with this system, but what do you think of it so far? It's interesting. I wish it was kind of like the regular karma system updated, but
From what I can tell, it's a big improvement over the previous system, but there could still be some ways to like fuck with people. Like apparently now people are using rafts to block shit, and like you can't destroy the rafts because you'll go negative, and then you can't use any of the warps. So yeah, might still have some flaws, but it seems like it's better than the previous system where people were just going around nuking everyone with no consequences.
People who say people are inherently good have never played Black Desert Online. I believe in positivity and the human race will do the right thing. Yeah, sit down at a computer and play this game for a couple days. Let's see what you think after that. Get a little dose of humanity.
I think the main thing that I'd like to see with it that I really liked was that they made it family fame. That way you can't abuse multiple characters. If you're going to go pirate, you're going to stay pirate. I really like this idea that you have to kind of hard commit to one side or the other. I think that's good. Apparently they want to add like a bounty board in the future, so we'll have to see if that ever gets made. They've been talking about that for actually years. So, what was our thing? How much karma do you lose for killing a boat?
A shitload.
Did we all just agree that they added something to the game and nobody had like some major objection to how it could be better? Or
that recently, in my opinion, like the updates have been like 3 good updates and 1 bad update. So you get 1 bad update for every 3 good updates. That's been my kind of feeling about it.
Reverse that, but yeah.
Frost, do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah. So for me, I'll never be in a boat. I can't stand the water in this game, and the boat mechanics are terrible. But I'm glad there's a separate karma system. My only issue with it is apparently the karma system is it's family based. So if you go negative on one character, all of your characters are negative. So if you have one like bartering character if you have one character that you like to go pirate on, just kill people, all of your characters are now no longer able to like access your boats or whatever until you come back.
Only in the ocean though. Only in the ocean.
Why is that a bad thing?
Well, I mean, like let's say for example, if I'm negative on my main character and I'm playing on an all in open world like non-boat stuff, like should all of my characters be negative? Because it's not family based on land.
But this isn't non-boat stuff. You can on your other alt character, you have to have like a different set of gear. You can lose crystals. There's penalties for being negative. Like out on the ocean, I mean, if people could just use alts, they would just use alts and they wouldn't have any penalties.
That's what people were doing before. They would have 2 characters, and
it's not like your boat loses crystals when you die on your alt. Like nothing would happen. They would just switch back to their main.
Yeah, right. I think it's a really good change.
It was a complaint that was brought up to me. I don't play the boat stuff at all, so I don't know. But they were kind of upset because I guess it deters like just PvP in general in the water, like completely. I guess in some sense, I don't know.
Well, what will happen now is people will just get off their boat and jump into the water, then take a map to shore, and then collect their boat, and then they'll just stay on land until people will stop messing with them, because you'll be positive karma on land, so that'll be the new strategy. But at least
so what is it? You can't take your boat out when you're negative. Is that the thing?
I don't think you can you can't repair or resupply. I think you can still take your boat out, but I haven't tried it. So right. The system is basically that if you go negative ocean karma, then you basically have to go to Pirate Island because you're a pirate, and you have to actually repair your boat at Coot Island, which is Pirate Island, which I think is really cool like lore wise. I think the only thing is that there's only one place you can repair at, and I feel like there should be probably a few around the place.
They should have to they should force them to find a way to get their boats to McQuinn like us on land.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think Arhaza is like a haven for pirates, right? Or used to be, maybe. Anyway, I think the idea behind it's kind of cool. It needs a little bit more work and iterations, but I think it's a step in the right direction overall. The next topic is Tier 10 horses. The first Tier 10 horse is finally out. Apparently, there's 2 appearances to it. Is that true? Do you guys know?
I've not seen the second one.
I've only seen the one. Yeah, I don't know what the second image is.
Yeah, they had 2 images in the patch notes, and I was trying to figure it out. I've never seen the second one. I like it. I like the update after I've thought about it a little bit more. because you're limited by the pedals now. What do you guys? I know Moreland, you've gone for it pretty hard so far.
I think gating it behind a weekly quest is absurd, and now their solution to the weekly quest is to add daily quests, which is double absurd. So I'm pretty tilted about that part, but I think the rest of it they did a good job.
Yeah, I like the
it's
design.
An interesting combination of like having to. I wish that Lakiara was actually more relevant. I don't think they made it nearly good enough for this, but it would have been an interesting chance for them to bring in kind of like older, outdated content and make it relevant again. It's good that there's a better use for your pedals. It's good that there's a better use for Imperial training, and like there's a reason to actually go catch horses now. So they got it. They did a decent job. There's definitely some things that I think they could easily improve, but
yeah, that part I like a lot. The T10 itself, I feel like I have no motivation to get a T10 unless it looks amazing. I don't really love the Pegasus look, so we'll see what the Unicorn and the Doom looks like. But are the skills on it, like some people I hear say it's not really much different from a Pegasus. So do you know the exact differences, Moreland, like as far as like abilities and stuff?
Jump straight up in the air and fly. You don't have to. I don't think you have to get like the running start or anything like that. I haven't gotten to try it myself, but from the videos, it looks significantly better. I think you can fly a lot further. You can jump a lot higher.
So there's 2 new, I guess, abilities. Like Moreland said, you can like hover in air, but it decreases your stamina by a lot. I think it's gonna be the coolest thing. Just having a new player walk into town and they see someone that's hovering in the air on their Pegasus is gonna be like the most badass thing that I think anybody will ever experience like in the game. I think it's really cool. And then from there you can either launch off like you normally could, or you can. And when you're gliding on your normal E is your normal glide. But if you press F, you have a new ability, and this allows you to descend very fast. So you get to continue gliding, but you have to glide down very fast. So it's like a speed up. So you can basically press F to speed up and press F again to slow back down. So you can't like control how fast you want to go through the air, which I guess is good if you're trying to use it for like dive bombing on top of a node war or something like that, right? So I
don't think you can use attacks with the new skills. They had a few qualifiers that like your weapon had to be sheathed.
Oh, so I guess you'd have to fly. And
I don't know if that's for all
the
skills or just some of them, but I remember reading that.
Oh, okay. It's interesting though. Apparently they said in the patch notes that they wanted to do like a Pegasus version, then a Doom Dine, and then Dine, and then a Doom Horse and a Doom Horse. So I thought there were going to be some cross pollination between the two, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do that. I don't know.
A Doom Pegasus.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want a Doom Pegasus. I think that'd be sick.
I'm honestly kind of terrified about what they're going to do with T10 Unicorn and T10 Doom.
It's so much work. I like.
Kind of a lot more.
Let's say it takes you. It's like what was it? I did the math on it. It's like 150 to 300 hours per attempt, depending on your luck with the fairy pedal things.
And the Doom Horse is the T10 Doom Horse is going to be like a Machamp. It's going to have like 6 legs, and it's going to 4-chop with like all 6 legs or something.
Yeah, I could see that actually be pretty cool. It'd be sort of like the 3-headed dog from Greek mythology or whatever.
It does have 2 heads. You get like the dark cleric class, right? Casting.
They could honestly spells. Do that. You could do that with a Doom Horse. That'd be really cool.
On a T10 2-headed 6-legged Doom Horse spitting fire.
It's probably just gonna be white with blue flames.
My pants just got shorter.
It probably won't be AP capped in T1, so you can just go around one-shotting people.
Oh my gosh!
With their 2,500 HP.
Bro, I saw Choice with his gear now. He just runs up and he does one stomp and they're just dead. Charge, stomp, death. And you're just like...
Yeah, imagine that with a T10.
Oh, it's going to be so bad. I'm surprised they haven't honestly nerfed that for how much Choice streams it.
Yeah, how come they only nerf the stuff I stream?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they buffed Zerker out the ass and all Korea erupted in riot, so... They probably just decided not to listen to him as much anymore after that happened. That's actually what happened. They did all those balance changes, and they buffed Zerker by like a ton. And then they're like, oh, no. Korea's like rioted about it on the global lab.
They must have been like, these fucking North Americans, man. All they do is bitch about Zerker. I'm with my Korean brethren on this.
Same.
Have you seen Suck Zerker?
Is it a 200% spin to win? Is that what it is that people are using?
Yep. And then they grind. Big Bad Nips is getting 62 or 6,500 Sakraya trash per hour on Suck Zerk with like 272 AP Kudum.
I believe it.
Maybe that's this class I should tag.
No, it's Striker.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
if
is
you just want
mobility.
for PvE.
Oh, 7,200 trash. I assume that's with an advanced loot scroll, but still. Fuck you.
How much do you pull right now on your Guardian?
Off stream?
Yeah.
5,300. I don't really count too much off stream, but it's always over 5K, but not like 5,500.
So yeah, you'd be pulling like 6.5K trash or more if you had advanced loot scroll.
Yeah, 6.3, 6.5, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah. But I have 289 AP Kudum. And my pinky is buff. I could pleasure a lot of women with my pinky for as much as I hold shifts. I'm sorry,
nice, dude.
No sex jokes.
It must be nice to off stream only get 5.3K, you know. When I'm 297 Kudum, I could only get 4.9.
You know what you signed up for on that Kuno, man.
Dude. One day we're gonna get buffed.
Are you Succession or Awakening?
On Succession, in my tryhard hour, I get like 49.50. I think I can break 5, but only barely. And then on Awakening, I can't get past like 4.7.
Oh,
yeah, it's rough.
So all you do is grind, right? That's what you opened up with, and you can't get any trash per hour.
Now, I'm not particularly efficient at grinding, is the problem. But Sakraya is great for me because where I lack in grinding is my pulling is not the greatest. Mm-hmm. But Sakraya is not really as much about pulling. It's just getting to the packs on time. So I do all right in Sakraya. I actually suck at stars. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm going to probably tag a character that's just way more chill.
I'm ready for that tagging system to come out.
For grinding.
I wanted for my Lawn. I want to do Lawn Awakening. I want an easy PvP class because PvP is not worth the time investment in my opinion right now. So I've been looking to play Lawn so I don't have to put the time in, but I still can be good.
I think I figured out how I'm going to quote work around the limitations of the tagging system.
Wait. Yeah. Should we mention that on podcast? It might nerf it.
It might. So you know how when for some reason they put this in the tagging system, which has like a bunch of arbitrary limitations on it, like you can't turn in your Imperials or anything like that.
Right.
So since my main is a warrior, I can just put my sword and shield on my Valkyrie and tag her to the other class, and as long as I'm playing Succession, I should be good, right? Does that work?
Normal tagging system, right?
So you just wouldn't be playing your warrior anymore, you mean?
No, I could still play him. It's not like it doesn't lock the gear to the Valk when you do the tag, does it?
Oh, right. Yeah, it actually does. I believe it makes it so you can't put your weapons in your storage or your marketplace when you have a character tagged. Pretty sure that's one of the... I think you can't share it. Yeah.
All right, but think of the horse.
So Alex has been playing Valk forever. He says, "Do suck Valk so you can play fucking DDR with your fingers while grinding."
Oh god, I hate that shield throw so much. That's why I quit playing Valk because I realized Valk shield throw is so much better than everything else on Valk. I was like, I'm just not gonna play it this way. The next topic is the Black Spirit Adventure Guide update, which I think is better but worse at the same time somehow.
Yep.
How's it worse?
It is because if you don't finish, then you don't finish. Yeah. Insert sex joke.
Yeah, but the rewards overall are still significantly better.
Yeah, the rewards are better, but all right. So my problem is you can't get the special dice when you acquire dice. That's why I think should happen. I think you should be able to acquire either a regular dice or have a chance of getting a special dice. And right now you can't, so that just means you're gonna have to get special dice through events or by failing like 5 times in a row to get a special dice, which in both cases just feels terrible as a player. Or they'll make it pay to win.
It's never happened to me so far, but I know this next time I'm not going to finish, and I'm going to be pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
I've already not finished twice.
Talked about it.
What, Marlon?
I just failed to finish as we were talking about it.
Feels bad.
Yeah, it's almost like guaranteed to fail if you don't have any special dice. Like it's
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get that weird stack.
You have to roll doubles and a lot of high rolls, or roll multiple doubles to get the free roll, because the free rolls that you get for a double don't count towards your 5 rolls.
Wait, don't you have to finish like 100 times to get the 100 stack?
Yeah. So basically, the only way to get special dice as a free-to-play player, because this will probably be in the Pearl Shop eventually, is you have to fail it, and when you fail it, you get a broken dice or something like that as a reward instead, and you can trade in some of those broken dice for a special die. So that means you have to fail. If I understand it correctly, you have to fail like 5 times in a row. Then you can get 1 special die, and you keep on saving up special die until you have enough of them to finish a round.
How long is this going for?
It's a permanent edition, yeah.
It's permanent.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll get my stack eventually.
4 men on a podcast complain about not finishing.
I think the Global Labs had some update to it that might make it easier to finish, as Tim says.
We need to move on. Tim's out of control.
I'm not mature enough for this. Merlin hates sex on his stream, so we got to move on.
So skill add-ons. The skill add-on update. All right, this is like my thing. Like we've gone through things right now. T10 horse, awesome. Karma update, awesome. Black Spirit Adventure, overall an update that I'd say is positive. There's some things I'd like to improve. But then here's the 4th one. Skill add-on update. Terrible.
Wait, hold on. Can we pay to win the dice?
No.
It's set up to be pay to win. I think they'll add it. I think it's only a matter of time.
Maybe. Yeah.
There's going to be a dice bundle almost certainly in the future that's not available in Belgium.
Got it.
Now I'm curious, why
Sorry,
why is the PvP skill add-on system bad?
It's not thought about at all. So they removed pain damage over time, they removed poison damage over time, and they removed flame damage over time, or burn damage over time. So I have Abyssal Flame, and I can't get flame damage over time on it anymore. I have to get bleed on it, which makes no sense lore-wise, and it doesn't stack with all the other bleeds I have. And this was used in 1v1s.
So didn't think about the lore on the dots, Frosty.
Jesus.
Well, and the main thing is that you can't actually negate potions, because that was the original intent that people would have, is that you'd have like 2 or 3 of these damage over times.
You fought a player in this game.
Well, here's the thing that's interesting, Potion, about that. Even though I think that the reason they removed those is because no one was using them except for Potion Shop, but I think that if you add up the total amount of damage that you got from the pain, the bleed, and the flame was still less than a tier 3 just the bleed, which is 150 every 3 seconds. Because the most you could get was 40 per 3 seconds. And then the other ones were like 18 or 23. So even if you had all 3 dots applied, it was still less damage over time than a tier 3 bleed.
Sure, I agree they need to be rebalanced. But I think that this is removing the other one straight up removes the ability for them to create interesting gear, because they could have added other accessories or gear in the game that could have buffed those even farther, and I think that would have been interesting. But now that's just no longer an option, both lore-wise and gear creation-wise. So I think it's a negative, and that's not really my main complaint about it. I think that's definitely a part of it. That was rushed, but everything feels rushed. Every class, there's one for main hand, that's a tier 3, and there's one for awakening, that's tier 3, which doesn't make sense for a lot of classes. Like, for example, I lost 33% of my mana regeneration on my sorceress, Dream of Doom, because that was originally intended to be a mana recovery, but I lost 33%. I only gained 600 now instead of 900. So
I have a solution for that. Are you awakening?
I mean, I know what you can do to fix that. I'm just saying, like, it's not a very well thought out system overall. It just kind of seems kind of rushed.
The thing is, like, most Sorks, when like trying to be optimal, would rather not use Dream of Doom except for when Imminent Doom is up, which is like a 30-second cooldown. So a lot of Sorks that I know have been putting it the mana recovery on Violation, which instantly like fully recovers your bar every time you use Violation. Sure,
that works, but the caveat to that is that it doesn't proc it when your Violation's off of cooldown, and so
no, it does. It does.
It's not supposed to anyway. I haven't tested it, but it's not supposed to. It used to not to. Anything that's an on hit does not proc when it's on cooldown. The only ability in the entire game that will proc when it's on cooldown is the twirl from Shy. That's why you can regenerate like 6,000 HP.
Have always proc
add-ons always proc per hit. Yeah, 100%.
Add-ons proc per hit. Yeah, but that is only if the HP and mana regen do not work when the ability is on cooldown.
No, that's not true. Like I 100% use it on Shadow Explosion. I had before this update
on the Musa, and I would get willpower back spamming crosscut. That's how you did it back then.
Yeah,
like it was like a mandatory add-on, and crosscut was off cooldown almost the entire time.
Well, I used to have on my Sorceress Awakening, I had 3 HP regens, and you would not regen any HP when the ability was on cooldown.
On which skills?
I did it on Violation, Dead Hunt, and I did it on, I think Turnback Slash was the third ability I chose.
Is it possible that the amount of HP recovered is just so small because, like, for example,
less hits, so you didn't notice it?
No,
either less hits, but Dead Hunt has HP recovery on it, so when it's on cooldown, you're going to recover so much less HP that you might not even notice.
Anyway, I haven't tested it since the changes on it, so maybe maybe that was a bug that was on Sorceress that's been fixed in this patch, possibly. But that used to not be a thing, at least for Sorceress Awakening.
I'm doing my absolute best to pay attention, but my mind is racing about lore add-ons and how we can have add-ons to our skill that increases our immersion to this game.
Yeah,
I think you should only be able to do poison damage on bladed attacks. I don't even think Sork should get access to poison. Like, how is she applying the poison? She doesn't have anything. She doesn't have weapons.
The only thing that would apply poison on a Sorceress, the only ability, what used to be Karshan's Protection, which is the block.
That's honestly ridiculous. I'm glad they fixed that.
Well, you can actually hit somebody with it anyway. It's close to impossible.
That shit would keep me up at night too, dude. I hated it.
But anyway,
Dream of Doom applied to burn, Potion Shop. How were you okay with that for all these years? That doesn't even make sense.
It's not even hot.
It's not even hot.
I think that you guys are getting caught up on the semantics of the matter rather than
I definitely am. I was making it. This is my part of the podcast where I get focused on something funny that you say and I make a big thing of it. I love the idea of lore add-ons. I love that. I love that, man. I do. I'm not making fun of you. I actually love that.
I mean, that's how it used to be, though.
I never would have thought of that.
That's how it was supposed to be. And the
Sorceress... Yeah, I honestly wasn't concerned about this at all, but now I'm getting kind of fired up, dude. I think they really need to think about it now.
Well, and the thing was, that's originally the abilities, Dream of Doom is, all of the Sorceress main hand abilities are, fire in nature or pain in nature. They're one of the two. And so they're all based in lore, even if the visuals did not necessarily represent that the best of ways. They were based
able to add a burn to water sphere on Wizard.
Hell yeah, dude!
That was fucking
burn. Boiling water could burn you.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it could have been boiling.
God, fuck! I'm not even thinking.
Hey, it's fire and water. It never made sense to me that Wizard was water and fire. When I first started playing the game, I was like, "This is so dumb." You set something on fire and then immediately put it out.
Kind of true.
Boiling water, hot vapors. Come on.
I mean, it's the same with Witch. You're gonna cover someone in rock and then electrocute them. It doesn't even work, dude. It'd all be grounded.
Sand is not a conduit, dude. What is this?
Terrible.
Sand is not a condiment.
Conduit. It can be a condiment.
Conductor. It can be a conduit. Okay, we're off track.
I think though overall, I miss that they removed some of the burns. It was a good opportunity to kind of indirectly nerf potions, which they completely missed the opportunity on that. And then that aside, some of my abilities got reworked. That my Dream of Doom no longer has a point in mana, right? There's other abilities that can replace it across the board. And my Absolute Darkness, or no, was it? I think it's Absolute Darkness. I used to get 30% crit off that. But now it's only 20% crit, so you just never use it anymore. It's just not. It's a completely unviable ability now, across the board. Nobody, if anybody who uses that, they're stupid. They should never use it.
I'm kind of unsatisfied with the Succession Warrior add-ons. I feel like they were all designed with Awakening in mind, and when you cut the Awakening half of the add-ons out, the ones that are left for Succession are extremely limited. I don't know. Like the whole one, you get one for succession, or you get one for main hand, one for awakening. It's like, okay, well, I guess every succession just gets half now.
Well,
it would be cool if like succession specifically got some different add-ons.
I would like to see like in the future do more bombs, but you can only get bomb add-ons if you pick succession, and I think that'd be a good long-term solution to that.
So here's the thing. Overall, I like the add-ons, and I think no matter how you slice it, your overall net damage is going to be better, just because a lot of the tier 2 new add-ons. But the thing is it should be, if it's going to be one pre-awaken, one awakening, which I could live with, should be standard across the board, but that's actually not how it works. So Hashashin has one awakening and two pre-awakening. Ninja has two pre-awakening and one awakening. So some classes actually do have two. So Ninja has Blade Spin and Moonlight, which in succession, that's a 10-second cooldown and a 14-second cooldown. Kuno, for example, just has Moonlight, which is a 20-second cooldown no matter whether you're awakening or succession. It's kind of weird. So like, I feel like every class
is for pre-awakened, Frosty.
Which one?
Yes, dude. What? Think of the worst possible skill you would put it on.
Reckless Blow.
No, that's the awakened one, which I can't access. Succession.
Okay, pre-awakening. I'm trying to think, what's your longest Scars of Death?
I'd love if it was on Ground Smash or Scars of Death.
That'd be fucking OP as fuck.
On Charging Thrust.
What's the cooldown on Charging Thrust?
Doesn't matter. I'm not hitting people with it. It's a fucking
dude. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I feel like every class needs two pre-awaken and one awakening, especially if you want to play succession. Because I literally don't get a tier 3 skill for succession, which kind of sucks.
You would still have the exact same problem. You have the exact same problem because you would just have the awakening would have 3 then, and then the main hand would have 2. So you'd still have an imbalance.
I mean, I can live with that a little bit, since the pre-awaken skills on awakening a lot of the time are not really usable, and that succession makes them usable. So people probably wouldn't be using them. But even still, like, I don't know, if you're gonna have some classes with 2 pre-awaken and some with 1, like that part makes no sense, and it's super inconsistent.
Are you saying you don't like it, Moreland, because it's not good in PvP? Is that the reasoning?
I just think it's arbitrary. Like, I don't understand how they chose the distribution. Like, it doesn't seem to be based on cooldown. They said it was cooldown utility, but like, what does that mean? That the only useless skills can be T3? Like, it doesn't really make sense.
Well, for Sorceress, it was Bloody Calamity, which is a skill that you only use to heal yourself or to get additional damage in PvP. And then for Awakening, it was Carson's Nightmare, which is something you don't use in your normal damage rotation. So I don't know. They don't seem to be, the T3s don't seem to be on the most prevalent abilities.
I don't know. Like the Warrior Awakened T3 seems super sick, but the Pre-Awakened one, it's like, how I'm expected to hit shit with Charging Thrust now? Like, really?
Guardian's the same way. So Guardian's Awakening is our 100%, which is our iframe teleport away. So that's the only T3 that we get. And then it's a really slow, it's a core succession pre-awaken move, but it's something that if you're using an awakening, you're kind of dumb. So Guardian's living with a bunch of T2s, but I'm kind of okay with it. It makes succession a lot of fun. But because it's one of the core moves in the rotation. But I don't know. I still think that, like, even though some classes get a little bit cucked, and some get super buffed from it, you know, one of Potion's most famous things he says on this podcast is just another thing to balance. But I think it was a pretty cool first stab. You know, I went through a lot of different things. I think everybody tried to put down smash on something, you know, and then we all just went DP shred, DP shred, DP shred, DP shred.
I do like the DP shred. I think overall they did a good job. I just it does feel a little rushed and a little like just shotgunned.
Mm-hmm. I kind of wish that what they'd done is they'd done 12 instead of 24, so that way I don't have to scroll down. That's very inconvenient.
Changing channels, scrolling down. I'm with you, man.
Yeah. But overall, they're cool. I got stuck in that screen forever. I was looking at my add-ons because the thing is, like, with the same add-ons being on every skill, and you're like, and some of these new ones, like the crit damage, and you don't know how strong they are. I had changed my skill add-ons like that first day like 50 times.
I basically just doubled down. So like the ones that did minus evasion, I added minus evasion to. The ones that did minus DR, I did minus DR, and so on and so forth.
Synergistic add-ons.
Have you guys tested how the down smash add-ons work on down smash skills?
Yeah,
I assume they just do separate roles.
They don't seem that consistent. A friend of mine tried to make. He put down smash on every single one of his abilities on his mystic, and he was saying that he like couldn't get the down smash to proc that consistently.
It's based on accuracy, right?
I did some testing, and on Searing Fang, you can put 15% down smash, which is cool because the second hit of Searing Fang is down smash, but it's unprotected. So the first one's super armor. You can add a down smash. And I found that it worked about 15% of the time.
Pretty good, dude.
So the down smash...
It doesn't seem worth it when you could have, AP or DP shred or accuracy or anything else. So
yeah.
I was pretty surprised that it worked only 50% of the time, even though it said that.
All right, let me go on to the next topic here. The next topic is very hard ancient Pooterim, which I thought this was a little silly, but they just updated the loot for the old one is basically what they did.
Which boss?
Ancient Pooterim. I don't know how you say it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna laugh at you on this one because I have no idea either.
What, you speak the ancient language?
Pooter.
They gave it a new box that guarantees to not give you crons.
Yeah,
they know the torture they've put us through.
I finally went out to Fogan's and I killed it, and I got a Ring of Crescent Guardian. I was like,
it's a fine accessory box, is what it is. It's a fine accessory box that can give you up to duo, which I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's better than getting 8 cron stones, that's for sure.
The only problem
it is.
They should have made it always spawn at like Bassi Den or around there, but instead they made it always spawn in the desert now, which is annoying.
They could have just moved it to like a human being place, instead of butt fucking Egypt.
Well, there has to be some reason to go out there in that stupid desert. I was really sad. The Google translation of the notes was pure magic stone. I was like, oh, I can get one like every 2 weeks. Oh! And then it turned out it was just massive pure magic. I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot more sense. So a little disappointed.
After failing Tet Blackstar 59 times in a row, Daddy could use the mass.
What stack is that on?
About 5 or 6.
5 or 6 different. Oh, okay. So you're like building it up.
No, I've had 5 or 6 different stacks. I've got a 200, a 188. I've used 255s. I used a 145. I've got a 138. You want to stack? Name a number. I've got it.
He's ready. You ready for the? You're waiting for the Black Star Awakening weapon. We got to talk about that in a little bit.
Oh yeah, great.
Okay. What do you watch? Moreland's hair disappear.
The BDO events this week are Halloween and Florin, Magical Elixir, which basically makes your elixir last 1 hour, and Nightmare Zarka. Which one do you guys want to talk about first?
Nightmare Zarka. I want to have another conversation about this.
Is there anything else that needs to be said?
It's a nightmare.
The Florin event is terrible.
They should. I re-listened to most of last week's podcast. They should 100% always be Nightmare.
I know. That's why I said it.
Yeah. I agree with Potion Shop.
Someone clip it. Hurry. Ah,
I have a very strong feeling either way.
Clip it. Come on.
All right. Moreland's going to let us do it. Call him up. Have him change it. Yeah. Did you guys do the one last night?
I did not.
I missed it.
It was
also only a chance, right? For some reason, wasn't guaranteed.
The channels didn't get it. It was great. Yeah. So, but like I actually
different on each channel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I think
exciting.
today it's not going to be, but normally when it is a Nightmare Zarka, it's only on random channels or something.
The engagement was fun. Like he had to, like there's red circles everywhere, and he was going gah, 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 and the whole thing, and you had to have potions on or use a frontal guard or stay out of the red stuff. It felt like I was playing an MMO for a minute.
It was like 2016 Zarka.
It wasn't bad. It was kind of fun.
Have you heard anything else? I know, Tim, you got like around 40 mil from yours. Have you heard from anyone else how much they were getting from them? I'm wondering if that's like the average, if it's like 40 mil.
I don't have any friends left.
What'd you get? The 40 mil and what? What did it give you?
Mostly gold bars.
Oh, okay.
I got a little bit of everything. I got some of the stones where you make better things, or the enhancement stones, and then I got some gold bars and some silver and some black stones and 5 latents. And
someone's saying PvP was enabled during it. Is that true?
Oh, that's awesome if that's true. Oh, yeah.
If that's true.
I wouldn't know.
That's actually probably an accident, yeah, because like they set up unique times for it to spawn. So they probably just didn't set up the unique like protections.
Fuck, somebody actually clipped me agreeing with you. God damn it.
Yes.
I think today's is a guaranteed nightmare, and it's happening during Siege, is it not? It's gonna be
for EU. For EU, it was happening during Node Wars. I'm not sure if that's the same for NA, but if it is, anyway.
That's such a Perlabiz thing.
Whoops. Let me see. Hold on. What was this time? Someone said.
Oh wait, is there PvP happening there? Who cares?
11:15 Eastern is when it's supposed to spawn, I guess. So
Possibly.
I think it's fine. I think they probably did some research on our server and found out Siege ends every week at 6:01 PST, which is only 1 minute after it starts. And
hand off complete.
Yeah, we got Nightmare Zarka this week, boys. We got to get this over with. Yo, I think it's really good though. I like the idea of it. This permanent Nightmare Zarka is definitely something I think that I'd like to continue doing. I want to move my witch over there and do it. I think my favorite story of the week from Nightmare Zarka was someone saying, "I got a Nightmare Zarka box," and it opened up and it got a regular Zarka. I was like, so that was my favorite story.
And it's not even like a guaranteed pry or nothing.
No, it's just it can be base, pry, duo, try, tet. So
That's kind of
it is. It should just be a nightmare box or a regular box, right? So that way at least you know what you got.
kind of like getting a soiled crescent ring back in the day. It's like, what's even the point?
I mean, it's 100 mil or whatever they are, so. I hear in EU it died in 30 seconds. Nightmare Zarka died in 30 seconds on EU. So
Crazy.
that would make, I did the math on it. If you make 40 million per, that's like 4 billion per hour. So it's a pretty good return.
Considering they only have people in Manos gear, that's crazy they killed it so fast.
Gathering mastery to kill Nightmare Zarka in 30 seconds.
The inflation on EU after that Nightmare Zarka.
Have you guys seen how many mythical feathers have already been sold in EU? It's ridiculous.
I would sell them. I have no purpose for them. I don't own 1 T9, let alone 2.
Star's End has got to be fucking empty.
Wait, why?
Distos at 320 mil because they're all life skilling.
Oh, yeah. The other event is Halloween in Florin, and it's bad. It's very bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
What is
Super
their
long.
obsession with going to Florin?
They're trying to make
It's like the
something
RP
cool now.
capital of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the lore master of this podcast, Potion Shop. What do you know about Florin, and why do we keep going there?
Because they cater the game towards new players, and Florin happens to be near where new players start.
I feel like you could pick oldie or Western.
Is it though?
It's close enough for them to think it is.
So new players feel comfortable going to Florin to grab goose eggs from the mountain because they've been there before.
At least
Listen,
Halloween
I'm not
Tuesday?
trying to explain their logic. It's just that's how they think about it. All right, that's just how
At least
it
we
is.
didn't have to go to Water Pop.
The event is really bad. It's a super long quest that gives you a shitty reward,
Mm-hmm.
and it's tedious.
You can get,
Can we
for
just-
people who don't know, you can get 3 furniture items: a teddy bear, a rabbit, and they go in your house. And you can get a Black Spirit pumpkin. So those are the rewards. You can turn into something called a jack, which is like the little pumpkin head monster that's around Alejandro Farm, I think is what it's called. But there's a problem.
Scare your friends.
There's a problem. He can't walk on anything that's uphill. Because they forgot that he's so short, and short means that you can't walk up steps and stuff like that. You know how you can't walk up steps on like short characters? It's like that, but it's like 200 times worse. It is horrible. You can literally not walk up the road. That's how crazy bad it is. So I was trying to walk around for teddy bears, and I just got stuck on literally the ground. Like, we're just walking forward, and just get stuck. And you're like, what's there? It's like, this is the ground. So I had to zigzag my way up the hill so it was less of an angle in order to actually go up the hill.
Like it's San Francisco.
Oh, bro, it's so bad.
Why do you make it sound like a charity event? Potion Shop was trying to walk for teddy bears. My God, dude.
So I think the core of the event is pretty cool, but if the fact that and top of that, the little Jack is like he runs at like 1 mile an hour. That's his maximum speed. He starts off at half a mile and goes up to 1 mile per hour. He is the slowest thing in BDO. Like look, like
He's there to be spooky.
he's definitely that. I found it faster to actually get look backwards, and if you press the Q, you actually fall backwards. And it's actually faster to fall backwards up a hill than it is to walk up the hill because you just get stuck. So
that's true in real life as well.
So I think the idea of the event is interesting. They also made it where you can buy like candy and you get like EXP or skill points, but you only get 1 per day per family. So why would you go there when you go and buy 1 for a 1 hour buff? It's just mind-boggling.
My chat says it's a lore-friendly event because you can feel that it's faster upstairs.
They really thought through the lore on this event. We have to give them credit for that.
All right, let's go on to something that doesn't make my head hurt as much. I actually had in my stream and I had a headache from that shit.
NPCs in Florin have bleeds, dude.
Oh, gosh.
They do, dude. They have super lore-heavy bleeds over there. It's good.
I'm about to go get my mask again. I can't take this. The global lab has actually some interesting updates. Interesting being the key word. Black Star Awakening Weapon, Morlin. What are your thoughts?
I mean, if you could Garmoth it would be cool. But I don't think you can.
Nope.
We don't have confirmation on that. We don't know for sure if you can or can't. I would be really surprised if you can't because it's kind of
you would be really surprised.
Well, yeah, because you can Garmoth the Dragon Slayer weapon and not just a dandy. So it'd be kind of weird. Like it's not locked to just dandy. So I don't know.
Yeah, if you can Garmoth it, I think it's pretty cool. It's basically then just like a PvE. It's like the main hand, right? It's a PvE mostly upgrade, but it's got a couple extra points of AP or something, I think.
What Kaffir's levels is your guys' dandy?
12.
Mine's 5. So the Tet Blackstar Awakening weapon is Kaffir's level 3, except without the accuracy, and then the pen is C20.
So Morlin, you're probably going to get this though because it has monster damage and accuracy on it, right? And you're playing Succession.
I mean, it has accuracy at pins, so I guess if I want to save up another 100 bill, I'll get it. It's probably more efficient up there somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, the monster damage was probably still worth it even at Tet.
Yeah, if you can Garmoth it. If you can't Garmoth it, it's a straight PvP downgrade. Like, So it's
for Succession.
For anyone.
Well, losing the crystals is kind of huge because it messes up your tankiness if you're using Hooms or whatever.
They really need to let us dye this stuff, though.
Dude, the skin looks so cool, though. It looks so sick.
But we need to dye it.
For PvE, you would use the new crystals. You wouldn't use Hooms. I think for PvP, I think this is basically how it's going to shake out when people get done testing it.
People don't switch their crystals out every time they PvE, though. They usually just have one set up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, if you're PvPer, you're probably just going to keep your Dandelion, and because of the crystal setup with Hooms are just too powerful. And if you're a PvEer and you don't do your main focus isn't PvP, then you'll probably swap over to the new Black Star Awakening weapon. I really don't mind this new weapon. The reason I'm somewhat angry about it is just because I wish that they had released this at the same time as Odolita. That way, I wouldn't have bought a Garmoth heart. I would have just gone with the Black Star Awakening weapon. So
I mean, it still remains to be seen if we can Garmoth it or not. That's what this, like I said, that's what this really hinges on for me. If you can't Garmoth it, then I think it's a big eye roll. If you can Garmoth it, then I think it's a good item. I think they did a decent job. It's just like the main hand, the old weapons are going to be viable, but this is going to have a certain upgrade to it and a certain like status element if you can get it to pin.
I see it even at pin. I think it's better than a C20 Dandy for PvE.
For PvE, yeah.
Yeah.
It has
PvE.
2 less AP than a normal dandy at C20 because the all species damage is lost, but the monster damage is way higher. It's also I don't know.
I think if their goal was just to make a PvE option, right? You want Dandelion's PvP and you want the Blackstar to be the PvE option, I think they 100% home runned it. If they were looking to make a straight up improvement over Dandelion for PvP, then I think it has to have the Garmoth
they clearly want Blackstar to be the best gear in the game. They're not looking to make trade-offs here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. They're gonna silo us onto DR builds.
They also literally are not aware of the fact that people put Hooms in their dandy. They think that everyone's using those new species damage crystals. 100% guarantee it to you.
So they also added the new set bonus for 3-piece, which is all resist plus 10% for PvE only.
10% for PvE.
Which is kind of new. Yeah, so if you have 3-piece Blackstar, you get all resist plus 10% in PvE only. Kind of interesting.
I like that.
I think it's good. And that would include Fallen God, wouldn't it?
I think, but I don't know. They haven't clarified really, but I assume. I don't know. Does someone have Fallen God and a Blackstar weapon to see if you get the 2-piece bonus?
Yeah.
Is there a 2-piece bonus, or do you have to have the armors? I don't know how it works. I don't know the rules.
Yeah, as long as it includes Fallen God, I think I'm fine with it. I do kind of miss that they are slowly destroying gear diversity, because it just means one piece of gear to rule them all, right? And I'm not really a fan of that.
Ship sailed years ago.
I know. Yeah. It's just they're putting the nail in the coffin right now, right? They've had.
Honestly, I hope they do put the nail in the coffin, because I've got these garbage DR pieces, and I'm praying that I can transfer them into the new Fallen God armor and finally catch up to everyone who's got an evasion builds.
The going from C10 Red Nose to Duo Fallen God has been such an amazing tankiness upgrade. It's unbelievable. I'm so shocked at how much tankier I am in general. It's awesome.
You feel it in PvP too?
Oh yeah. Oh my god. That's where I feel it most, actually.
Apparently the set bonus does not apply to Fallen God at least in our game right now. If you have like a Blackstar armor piece plus Fallen God, you don't get the 2-piece bonus.
I'm sure they'll probably add a Fallen God set at some point.
It's weird because it's Blackstar, everywhere else, but
yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen a second Fallen God for the helmet or anything yet. I figured
it's gotta be coming soon.
I kind of thought we would have seen that. Let's see, what was the other thing to mention here? Oh yeah, Blackstar gloves, which are basically a combination of Bed's gloves and Lieber's. So that
so they didn't model it after one or the other.
It's a combination of both. I haven't looked at all the entire stats on it, but that's what people were telling me in my chat. I didn't.
Do we have a link to the stats? Because I want to. That sounds.
Hold on. I don't think it's Lieber at all. I think it's literally just pure Begs, because they're missing all the evasion. It's literally DR. It has the extra DR that Begs has, and it has the accuracy Begs has. Does not have the same evasion.
It has the HP add-on on it, though, right? Is that what that is? 200%, 200 HP or something like that?
It's probably from the Kaffir's levels, isn't it?
Yeah, that's from the Kaffir's levels. Here, I'll link it to you guys.
Yeah, I'm predicting this is a straight up Beg clone, because the helmet was a straight up Gaiath clone.
Yeah, well, at least the helmet had. Here, I just put it in the guest chat. At least the helmet though has the DR of Griffin, but the HP of Gaiath, but it didn't have the resist of Griffin. But this is like literally just an exact
Griffin, or is that just also from the Kaffir's levels?
No, it has the base DR of Griffin. It matches the DR at the same Kaffir's level.
Yeah, at that point, I'd almost rather have like the three DRs, kind of whatever. The resistor really the thing that matters, but.
Yeah, so it has 50 accuracy on this, so it's basically Beg. So they're just they're putting us all in DR. No one's going to be able to complain about evasion if we all run DR.
Well, if they upgrade this into Fallen God, then it'll just be the non-Kaffir's version of getting your gear, right?
Well, the real question is going to be, will there be one version of Fallen God or two? And I wonder if they haven't even figured that out yet internally.
Probably not. I mean, they only have one piece out.
Everything's going to be Fallen God. Like everything, all the armor is going to be able to be upgraded to that. I was kind of hoping like it'd just be the chest piece and it'd be like this big long grind and a couple people would get pen, but we're all just going to be like hard capped at some version of Tet Fallen God for all of our spots.
Well, the more they keep pushing this Black Star armor thing, the more they're pushing people towards buying crons from pay to winners. And I think that's going to be a dangerous road if they continue doing too much of that without lowering the price from the cron vendor or like the NPC. Because I was like, it's just like the demand is already sky high for crons, and I don't know. I don't know what I really think about it all.
I don't think they want people in multiple builds. I think they want everyone in one set of armor, just like BDO Mobile. And they're going to get us all in Fallen God, and then a year or two later, they'll be like Super Fallen God, and then, Mega Fallen God, and whatever the next thing is.
Sure.
Mega Fallen God.
Speaking of Fallen God refers to, I believe, Hadum in the lore. And Hadum's realm, they updated the bandits portion of it in Serendia. So they added a mechanic where as you kill the bandits in Serendia, you get a higher and higher bounty on your head until eventually, the mobs, I guess you summon some type of elite.
Baragi himself spawns up.
Yeah.
Oh, Baragi.
And
Himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's actually pretty cool. I do think it's pretty, other than the mechanic for the grind spot, I do think it's pretty low effort because they didn't mention any loot or anything for it. So I'm really curious what that's going to look like, because that's really going to determine if it's a good or bad grind spot.
Right. So the loot itself is worth 15k. Drops dust right now. They said that they're still working on what the loot is going to be for the boss. So when the boss dies, he leaves a treasure chest. You kill the chest and get a reward. But they said that they haven't 100%.
Huge opportunity here with just making it another loot spot. They're missing a huge fucking opportunity. They need to add an adventure journal where you go and you kill X amount of these and you get some stats from it. That would be way more satisfying.
Yeah.
Well, they
And they
mentioned
could do that with every one of the Hadum spots. There could just be a Hadum adventure log where you go to like 12 different spots and you farm extra DR, extra accuracy or something.
they kind of did mention something like that. Not a journal specifically, but they said that there's going to be drops that augment Black Star equipment that
would be good. Yeah,
exclusive
like
to the
power up
Hadum.
your Black Star gear by farming these things. That would be sick.
Yeah. I just don't know what.
And that would really that would be like the Caphras version for Black Star then, which would be pretty
Yep.
cool.
And except, instead of having an order on the market that gets filled once a week, you would actually play the game.
Well, I mean, the Caphras pre-orders have been going through really, really easily now.
That's not the point, Potion.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you get the grind for it now. That'd be great.
I'm just trying to make grinding in this game fun again, dude. Like,
There's
yay,
so
I get
much-
silver and I get to buy everything off the market. Wow, how interesting. Like, I don't, just give me something else to do.
I would like them to remove the
Self-found, please.
new necklace. What's it called? Deborka. I wish they would remove that from the marketplace. I think that should just be a you grind for it type item.
It's not on the marketplace, so you grind for it.
Listen, remove the option of selling it. Biohack's about to go there and grind and make tets and sell them for profit. That's what he's about to do.
What?
Yeah, he's gonna make. He's probably gonna make his own pin first, and then he's gonna sell tets for profit. Because the enhancing for profit along with the grinding for profit there is going to be really good. They're like 54 bill, and you can make them easily.
Yeah, if you can get them, the margin of
it's like Tet Black Star, but it's like Tet Black Star compared to like Pin Zarka. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Biohack.
But yeah, so before Biohack ruins the marketplace, we got to make it where they can't sell them. All right.
Well, if people get their hands on tats.
AP accuracy neck hybrid that comes out in Odalita Part 2 that makes Debo useless again.
It's true.
I hope he sells a bunch of tats, and people that quit the game roulette their tat Debrekas and they go pen, so I could buy one.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Then I don't have to grind there. I like that. Next topic is they reverted the Wizard and Witch heal changes. So not sure what happened, but apparently the Koreans didn't like that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's back to being a percentage now. Went from being a flat to back to being a percentage. Did you read that on there? Am I understanding that correctly, Frosty?
No, that's just the one that still is heal percentage that they just changed the wording on it. Because they had 3 heals, one of them stayed percentage based, I believe. Let me double check the note though. But no, they didn't revert the changes. It was like a different, I think it was just a tooltip change.
Oh, okay.
Let me make sure. Hold on. Class changes. Wizard and Witch. The description on healing aura 1 through 4 changed as follows. So before the change was recovers percentage of HP and MP either to self or friend. Now it says recovers percentage of HP to self and 1 friend, and recovers percent to self. So it's just like a tooltip change.
Okay. I'm glad that I had you here for clarification.
Yeah, and then they changed the mana arrow thing also, which is basically just a tooltip change where you recover mana back, the absorption thing.
Okay, I didn't realize they had 3 heals, bro. I didn't realize they had 3 of them.
Yeah, and they got a bunch of them. They're the best support, frontline, tank, range, DPS class in the game, dude.
Sounds balanced. Let's move on then. They added an addition to the Black Spirit dice scheme, where if you like, I don't know exactly how it works. I couldn't understand the translation of it, but they're adding a new part to the Black Spirit dice scheme. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, they're adding some new cards that I don't fully understand, but it looks like you'll be able to pick rolls or spaces or something based on where you land. I don't know. It looks kind of like Wheel of Fortune. When you land on a space, you can pick up the card and use it later.
Are they making the dice game bloated too? Like,
dude, the dice game is so laggy. I've already had multiple times I roll the dice and I don't see what my roll is, and I just get a reward.
I've never seen what mine is.
And then, so we have to trust these people that we're getting the right dice rolls.
Well, this is going to become a actual trading card game that's sold in stores eventually. It's going to be exciting.
Dude, video the trading card game? Let's go.
Shadow Arena worked out so well. They should continue doing spin-offs. I agree.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to make it where you can play it on your phone and they'll mail the loot to your BDO account. And you can
it's called Arcana system, and it says it could be obtained from a special platform during the Black Spirit adventure, and it's a card type content you can get that'll help when you want to move to a desired space or complete the Black Spirit's adventure. I guess it just like puts you on certain spaces when you want to use the card.
So it's sort of like a get out jail free card in Monopoly, but has unique applications to BDO then in their little mini game.
Sounds
like interesting. We'll have to see what it is. I'm sure they're going to be doing more and more stuff with this dice game. It seems like they're focusing on it really hard for some reason. So that'll be something that's on the way. Other things that they did this week is they added AFK horse food and AFK elixir. I don't know what the exact time is. I think it's like 10 hours or something. But it lasts a long time. You basically pop elixir and food. I think you acquire these. I didn't really understand it through the Global Lab translation, but I think you acquire them from horse racing. So you do horse races and you can trade that in for AFK food. So that might have some limited applications if people care a lot about getting like their brand new
I can't
horse.
wait to buy those off the market from people who did horse races.
What are these magical elixirs? I missed that.
The magical elixirs come from your challenge tab, and you can just, I think, simple alchemy them with any draft, and it'll make it a 1 hour draft instead of a 15-minute draft. So I think that's the only thing that changes, though. I don't think the stats or anything change.
We've got some of those for events.
Mm-hmm. This is like the second or third time we've had it, right? I think.
Yeah, you can combine it with like a Giants draft or whatever and pop it, and then you have the Giants for an hour.
I must have been playing Star Wars or something last time we had it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that much.
We give you time.
Listen,
playing Star Wars. Which Star Wars were you playing, dude? What?
Star Wars Galaxies, dude.
Okay. I thought it was SWOTOR. Scared me.
No.
I think the biggest question with this new elixir is, does it have a different icon? Because if so, as soon as someone sees you grinding with one,
Just kill you.
Give fuck, dude. Yeah.
Instead of it persists through death, apparently.
Oh, it's like that immortal also.
Oh, so PvP giants. I can fucking death push and have. Okay.
All right, that's actually a big deal for like PvP and Node Wars and stuff. I like that a lot.
Big deal for people who die constantly.
That's me.
PvP, it's not worth it. Remember the per hour.
And in 2 more for the Global Lab, we have you can now turn into 100 energy to the Black Spirit, and then you can get your 20 EXP buff or your skill point EXP. You can get those, but you now get it for an hour instead of 30 minutes. So that's a nice quality of life improvement. The 51 is still an option, so if you want to do that, it's still an option. But there's now a new option for an hour. And then they have new tomes, and again, the Google Translate on this slaughtered me, but you can now do I think it's the Alston's Journal, Kafra's Journal, and once you've done that, you can actually go through a quest line and upgrade your tome, and this tome gives you additional benefits from grinding. I'm not really sure.
So there's 3 different ones. In place of the Chenga tome, you can put one that gives you contribution EXP up plus 10%. There's the Tome of Nature is life EXP plus 10%, and then the Tome of Destruction is skill EXP plus 20%. It's like 3 different books.
Contribution.
You can put in that slot.
I wonder if that works.
Contribution was huge.
I wonder if that works with Witch's Delight.
Yeah,
sure.
That'd be awesome.
Should we talk about Karanda's Heart? Karanda's Heart's new.
Yeah, should I sell my Garmoth or what?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what this is going to be worth. I don't know how much this is going to be on the marketplace.
Well, it seems like it's a new player option, isn't it?
Garmoth and it starts dropping, then increase supply, decrease the price, right?
Yeah. It's only 1 crystal slot. Can you live with just 1 crystal slot?
I think it's a line break, dude. I think it has 2. If you look at it closely.
I don't think it's 2.
You don't think it's 2?
No, it's definitely 1. It's definitely 1.
Yeah.
It's 100% 1 and 3% critical hit strike.
Yeah, it's just the same thing as Garmoth, but it's a weaker version of it.
It said 2 crystal slots in the tooltip, but the image only showed like 1 crystal thingy, so I don't know. Remains to be seen. Have we actually seen it in game yet?
No, because it only drops from the new Tempest Siren Karanda that we don't have yet, which is like the nightmare version of Karanda, I guess.
Yeah, I think the idea of it's gonna be really cool. I hope they take the whole thing and just do the permanent spawns for the nightmare version for Karanda as well.
But it's got the same stats on the offhand, right?
I don't know. It only shows it in the Awakening. I think you can actually only use it in the Awakening weapon.
Yeah, I doubt you can use it in offhand.
Yeah, it doesn't show, at least in the Global Lab notes, it didn't show that you can use it.
Maybe I saw a mistranslation then, because the one I saw had pretty much the same tooltip as Garmoth.
Yeah, it's the same tooltip with Garmoth in the Awakening weapon, but I don't know. Anyway, we'll have to see until when it comes out. It makes sense that it drops from Karanda. It works in only Dandy because Karanda drops Dandy. It seems like that would be something that would synergize really well, just like the Nightmare Zarka giving you up to Tet, right? So instead of getting you up to Tet from Karanda, I think this is their solution.
How much does it have to be in the marketplace for you to actually recommend it to someone instead of a Garmoth Heart, like to save money?
Ooh, like a price-wise?
Yeah.
Probably for a new player, I'd say like $1 billion silver. Like a $1 billion for a new player. For a veteran player, maybe up to $3 billion.
It's going to be kind of dumb if it's super expensive. Just might as well save for Garmoth.
I can't imagine. I imagine their goal is to keep it around the same price as a Tet Zarka, because that's supposed to be the grand prize for Nightmare Karanda. The grand prize for Nightmare Zarka is a Tet Zarka, so it should be around the same price.
It's not really up to them unless they like hard cap it. Like the market will decide what the price is.
Sure. But I feel like that's what their goal would be, somewhere between like 1 to 3 billion. I feel like that's like the goal price.
I don't know. If it's 3 crit and 1 crystal slot instead of 3 crit and 2 crystal slots, I think people will easily pay like at least half the price of a Garmoth for that. No one's gonna list that shit for $1 billion. People are gonna max order that immediately.
Sure, but how many people are veteran players that need that? I don't know. I think most veteran players already have one.
The point is, like, how much are you? If you can pay $4 or $5 and you get the same thing minus one slot, people will do that. Like, why wouldn't they? It's a good value.
Hey, does it work in Black Star Awakening Weapon? That's what we need to know. These are the important things.
We'll figure it out.
That's it for Global Lab. Other than that, we have other topics. We already talked about Doom. We can talk about that again. Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed. And
I actually, before we get into that, I'd like to talk to our guest a little bit about his podcast.
Sure, go ahead.
So tell me what it's been like co-hosting a podcast for 2 years. How did it get started? Tell me a little bit about your experience as podcast host.
All right, so I was doing my normal thing. I was grinding. And I was in a mutual Discord with Reslar, and he randomly hopped into voice, said, "Hey, Frosty, you want to start a podcast or something?" I was like, sure. He's like, "All right, cool. What should we name it?" And then we like sat there, and like all of our friends said every name we came up with was shitty, and then someone came up with the value pack, and we're like, "All right, we'll call it that." And then we tried it out, and it was mostly supposed to be. Because me and Reslar literally argue all the time. So we can't really be in the same Discord too much because we fight too much. But that was kind of the premise. It was like, well, we'll just sit there and fight and maybe it'll be entertaining. And then I feel like as the show has gone on, Reslar plays BDO less and less and hates it more and more. But no, it's been fun, man. I don't know. It's been we're going on 2 years now. We added Nyashi almost a year ago now. It's been like 8 months, and he's been a regular on the show as well, which is fun because he's like one of 4 Maywas, so it's always fun to tease him about that. And
I take a shot every time he cuts you off with "yeah."
Yeah. Well, we let him try to read the comments once, and that was my favorite episode. Yeah, that's where we learned why Maywas have only a 1-button movement combo.
I need to know what episode that was.
Yeah, I gotta do some digging and find out. But yeah, it's been fun. And you've been on it. It's like we just, I don't know. We didn't have much structure. We've changed like the structure a lot, and now it's kind of like we have a guest, we just interview the guest, and then when we don't have a guest, we just talk about all the new shit. And it generally is a list of things Reslar hates that's coming that I'm excited about.
You play a lot of this. You play a lot of BDO. You're like,
sounds kind of
always excited about.
I am. I'm the BDO White Knight, dude. I'm tried and true. I can live with it. You know, there's things that I hate, but overall, I think it's actually. I mean, everyone. It's the strangest game in the history of all games that I've ever played. It's the only game I've ever played where every time someone stops playing, whether they take a break, they go to school, they immediately have to like go into Reddit and tell everyone how much the game is absolute shit and they spent 4 years playing. Like every other game I've ever played, people are like, dude, Terra was so much fun, or Blade and Soul was so much fun. I loved WoW growing up, and like Black Desert's always like, no, it's fucking trash, dude. Fuck that game. And then they always come back, which makes it even more weird.
Oh, so. I forgot to put this in my like weekly update. I had such a good week after the podcast last week, and this is related, I promise. I ended up playing Among Us with my favorite metalcore band, Silent Planet. The lead singer started streaming and got all of his bandmates together and stuff. What are you laughing at? Are you laughing at me?
Yeah, dude. Every time you bring this up, it gets funnier and funnier.
Why is it funny?
It's just the way you say it. Yeah, so the lead singer of my favorite band invited me to play.
Man.
The lead singer of my favorite band hosted me. So the lead singer of my favorite band talked to my Twitch chat.
Cool. And then Bubba Wallace, the NASCAR driver, joined in too. It was a fun night, man. But so he was like, "Hey, so Tim," he called me a professional gamer, which oh my god.
Hey, you're in esports. I think it works.
Yeah.
You play an esport ready game, bro.
Yeah, dude.
But he's like, "So what's this Black Desert Online game you play?" And I'm like, nope, no, just no. Right? I feel like that is kind of the knee-jerk reaction. It's like somebody asks about the game, you're just like, no, you don't want to do this. I don't feel like I should go on Reddit or something about it, but that is a good point. But anytime somebody asks me, I'm just like, don't do this to yourself.
Anytime one of my friends asks me about this game, like IRL friends, I'm like, nah, dude, don't worry about it.
No. You guys are all too negative about this. Chat, everybody listen, you can definitely play Black Desert. It's a wonderful place. You'll love it here. Your wallet will hate it, but you'll like it. All right, you'll like your time. All right.
I mean, it's super
That's why
fun.
Tim's still playing.
It's super addicting. There's a bunch of shit to do. It's just like the problem is for me, it is a huge time sink. So like whenever someone that plays video games all day, every day asks me, I'm like, it's an awesome game. You'll love it. Whenever someone in real life asks me, I'm like, nah, just keep playing Madden or Animal Crossing. You'll be fine.
Yeah. People in Twitch chat ask me, I'm like, yeah, you're on Twitch, you like games, you play other MMOs, play Black Desert. But it's like, whenever a normie asks me about this game, I'm a complete non-starter. Don't even know.
I don't even talk to normies. Maybe that's why I don't understand. Oh,
yeah. When people say like, I've played a lot of games like this. I played Skyrim. I'm like, yeah, no, just stick to Skyrim. Download some new mods. You're gonna be fine. But I do love the game. I think it's an awesome game. I enjoy running in circles, killing mobs. I enjoy the PvP. I enjoy that. I mean, I wish there was some ranked PvP, obviously, but I do enjoy like there's a sandboxy competitiveness to it where it's like even though there's not actual competitiveness, people kind of compete and try to be like, oh, I'm the best this, I'm the best that, and it's kind of fun. Make it what you want to make it.
Yeah, there's like an underlying competitiveness to everything. It's like I'm the little 50 guru cooking. You're like, oh well, I grinded 2,000 hours at Sausins.
I feel like you're talking to NPCs. It sounds like you're doing NPC voices. Like, how do you like the game? And the guy in Florin is like, oh, I grinded Sausins.
All right, so I have two questions for you, and I implore you to answer them both, even though it may be slightly toxic.
Okay.
First, and you'll figure out what this toxic one is. Who's your favorite guest on your podcast?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Kyriem. Musa player. He's super eloquent, well-spoken, super smart dude who actually goes out of his way a lot to test stuff. So when he's discussing when something is a problem or something is good or bad on the Musa class, for instance, which is a very polarizing class because a lot of complainers. But when he talks about what's wrong with the class, he's very eloquent and you can believe what he's saying because he actually like thoroughly tested stuff out and he's not just raging and complaining. And he also is like, has a little bit more of a positive mindset about it where it's like, look, you can still beat people if you're better, but here are the issues that I hope get fixed, I like talking to him a lot. He might have been my favorite guest ever.
I'm sorry, we have a reoccurring thing that happens called Moreland sneezes, and I just want to shout out.
Big deal every time you guys don't sneeze.
Kept your headset on this time, man. I'm proud of you.
Well, it's a big deal because it's how they power the entire state of California.
I knew if I let the headset fall down, you would stop the podcast and talk about it. So I purposely caught my headset this time, and you brought it up anyways.
But you sneeze so hard your headset falls off?
That's just not a very tight-fitting headset. I don't know. What kind of pussy-ass sneezes do you guys have, huh? What kind of beta male sneezes are you producing where your headset doesn't even fall off?
You got to be careful. You're going to break your monitor. It's going to fly into your monitor.
You're doing me a favor.
So I am of the opinion that like Musa needs like a complete rework. Do you think that that's like a really outlandish opinion? Or did this guy have like some like if you just change some modifiers, it'll be fine?
What do you define rework in how you mean it? Because like Nyashi says Meiwa needs a complete rework, and then when I listen to what he says, it's basically just modifiers.
I mean, start from scratch, like a different weapon.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it needs that.
I feel like they're just kamikazes, and I don't know if that's really fun to play or to play against. You just go in and hope you win, and that's it.
I think that Musa Meiwa needs if anyone ever played Meiwa, Sleet Steps before the CC change was an iframe on a separate cooldown. So you shift A or D to move to the side, and it got changed to super armor. And then Musa didn't really have this skill, but their biggest complaint is that Chase iframe doesn't work very well. So I feel like they need to make Chase super armor the whole way through, no matter what, and then give them just a completely separate iframe on its own cooldown that is reliable and iframe from start to finish that they can use to like evade grabs or whatever they want to evade. Because right now it's like they're just chasing and they have to keep track of this cooldown, but they have to use Chase for everything. So it's kind of a difficult thing to manage. And then the other thing is stamina in combat is rough for them, and I sympathize with them on that. Like their kicks and refloats and like a lot of skills during the combo cost stamina, so they have to keep a ton of stamina available in order to actually finish somebody off. So that I think kind of sucks. But overall, I think it's kind of I don't know. Meiwas are kind of Mooses are kind of babies for the most part.
The thing that I feel like is different between Musa and Meiwa is a Meiwa can catch me and a Musa can't. Like for a class that has no grab, they just, unless they can just blast through my block because they have 309 AP, I just feel like Musas are so fucked when they fight against block classes. Like,
yeah,
what can they do? Whenever I'm fighting against a Meiwa, I feel like they have these quick like stiffens or catches they can use, and I feel like Meiwa or Musa just has way fewer options to do that.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of that. And I don't know, it's like Guardian, for example, is one of the ones that's like just brings it out into like how obvious it is that it sucks that Musa Meiwa don't have a grab. But I don't know if that's so much a grab issue as like maybe some of those super armors should be frontal guards so there's some risk. When
Musa even has a grab in Shadow Arena, dude. Like how insulting must that be to like a regular Musa player? Put up the old Shadow Arena and they have a grab there. Anyway, so who's your least favorite guest?
My least favorite guest. I'm gonna try to. I have to try to think about this. I think it's funny because he was my favorite, one of my favorite guests for the first half of the show when we had Norelio on. He was super entertaining. He had really cool answers to the questions. I felt like everything went really well. And then when we actually talked about the game and not Norelio, he AFK'd and took a shower. So that made me feel like he was my least favorite guest of all time. Because like it was right when Hashashin was coming out. So we started talking about Hashashin. He's like, and he literally just was like, I passed it. I'm like, so what do you think on whatever this? And then he just doesn't say anything. He's just gone. And then like 20 minutes later, he comes back, sorry guys, I had to take a shower. And I was like, all right, you're my least favorite guest from now on. And that's it.
Wow.
But up until that point, he was awesome.
I have to up my game. I thought I was already on top of this troll game, but this is he's on a whole another level. Taking showers in the middle of the podcast, bro.
He got us, dude. Pretty good with that.
I feel bad when I have to pee.
I do too. I just say it now. Like it used to be like I typed a res like, hey, take over, man.
It's like a domination.
But now I'm like, all right, I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
I have a little Black Spirit plushie that they sent me that I cut because I didn't get a Tep Black Star, so I just throw that over and go
pee into that guy.
Yeah,
just soaks it all up.
Yeah,
I remember when you cut that.
Does it smell good? I feel like it can't possibly smell good anymore.
You don't have to make it weird. We could just have a podcast.
Well, pee smells. That's not weird, dude. You have to accept that it smells, especially when it just ferments.
Okay.
Into a plush doll.
I feel like there's been some miscommunication here.
How about the dynamic? I want to ask a couple more questions about the podcast. Right. How do you feel about like adding Nayashe? Did you feel like you really needed a third person? Would you ever add a fourth, or do you like we have 3 people and adding a fourth we really like? Is that kind of the same thing there, or like did it feel weird doing a podcast with 2 people? I feel like that's what I really want to ask. I feel like that's a telephone call. You did that for like a year, right?
Yeah. I liked the 2 people. I was skeptical about adding a third, just because like I don't know, older shows. I feel like a lot of podcasts are different game podcasts. And you have too many people, like people just start talking over each other so much. And I try to mitigate that a lot. Like I'll sit and try to listen to someone's entire sentence before I jump in if I can. Although I have stepped on Moreland like 20 times. We started kind of at the same time, so I apologize. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like with too many people, it can get crazy. I think 3 is pretty good. And Nayashe and Rezlar both. They don't talk that much unless they're super passionate about it. So I'm kind of a little bit like leading the show.
You do carry it
to them because they have very very different opinions than me on a lot of stuff. So that dynamic works out. But no, I think it's good. I think 3 is fine, and then we had a guest in, and it's cool like that.
What do you find talking wise? Like, do you think that adding 3 gave you a little extra room to think and breathe and stuff like that?
It gave me more time to pee and refill my drink for sure. Nayashe is actually like, it's so funny because Nayashe is also kind of like oddly polarizing, even though he's one of the nicest people. Because like when he gets mad, he gets really mad, and then he like has a problem with someone, and he's friends with Shaky Bay, and a lot of people hate Shaky Bay, but like so Nayashe's personality.
Hold on. I didn't hear Moreland. He got garbled. What'd you say?
Oh, I was just saying. I think it's literally just the association with Shaky. I was just
the association because he's not. His personality is nothing like Shaky at all. He actually but he really loves PvP, but he's PvPing exclusively on Arsha, and he really doesn't shit talk except for like playfully to make the person he's fighting laugh. You know what I mean? Which is what's so funny. But I actually see people misconstrue it so much. And he's like, "Hey, this guy just shit talked me on Arsha." I'm like, "What'd he say?" He just said like you're really bad, LOL, and put a smiley face. I'm like, no, he's actually like trying to make you laugh, like as a joke.
Well, it's not a very joke, to be fair.
Yeah,
it's a bad joke.
Hey,
he's not a funny
my joke?
guy.
Hey, you're terrible.
yeah. But no, I think the dynamic's cool. It's cool with the third person, and his perspective is very different from Rezlar's, which is very different from mine. Plus, we had to get a non-grab class playing person in there to kind of balance things out because grab's a heated issue. BDO.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily grabs are a bad thing. It's just that they're overpowered because of the overuse of super armors, right? So if you add like so many super armors, then of course everybody who has a grab is going to feel more powerful when they have an exception to the CC rule.
I actually agree with Potion on PvP for once.
I think it's gotten worse recently because, well, 1 Guardian, 2 Succession Valkyrie, and like for a while Succession Warrior when people were playing it. But when there's not openings available, it makes grab more powerful. It's just like, and I don't know why they keep making classes with fewer and fewer openings. Like the whole super armor block thing is really hard to get around. At least with Guardian, they can't move with it, but it's like, I guess they can in Pre-Awakening, but I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of tough.
Well, I think that's just because underlining, they want to make money, obviously. And I think that it's just a cop-out to be able to say, hey, well, let's add a few more super armors, and then it'll be guaranteed to be better, and then we'll make more money. And I think that's just probably the simple logic they use with it. Rather than
like Hashashin has openings. Like, you don't need a grab to beat a Hashashin.
Yeah, I think Hashashin is probably one of the most balanced classes PvP-wise that they've made in a long time. I actually really enjoy how he plays in PvP.
The question is, do you think they'll make as much money off Hashashin rerolls as they did off Guardian? Probably not even close.
Well, and I think part of that is they never went back and nerfed Guardian to where I think it should be, really. And all it would be is like removing a super armor into a forward guard or something.
So I had Sphero come into my chat after he was a guest on your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally made me listen to the first hour of his episode.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out, I need to ask you, do you just hate Sphero or like Warriors in general?
Me personally, dude, I love Sphero. And I'm indifferent on Warriors.
Like you guys were like, no.
Warrior I had to pass it to Nayashe. Yeah, Nayashe made the claim. So we had like a random for fun. I think we had Ellie on the podcast, and she threw a question at us at the end and said, if you could remove one class from the game right now, what would it be? And Nayashe said Warrior. And then the very next week, we had Sphero on. So I brought it up, and I wanted Nayashe to explain to us in front of Sphero why Warrior should be removed from the game. I don't agree with it at all. But he was super adamant about it.
You went in on that. You talk about him being weirdly polarizing. And I'm like, I played Wizard. Warrior 3 years ago, and I was like taking off my shirt, ready to fight, Like,
imagine not saying Wizard. Holy shit.
I would say Wizard because at least you got rid of 50% of the problem.
Right. That's the thing that was so crazy. It's like
that was
good. Like even for Mayweather, the thing I get like Warrior's fast. So his reasoning was like Warriors are really fast. They're really protected and they have a lot of CCs and they have the slow debuff and they have a fast grab. There's like all this stuff. But Warrior, even compared to like Guardian, like I thought he would have said if it's going to be super like Mayweather biased, I thought it would be Guardian or Awakened Mystic or something that's like has really hard to find an opening on. Whereas like I just feel like Awakened Warrior, like Mayweather's can still CC Awakened Warriors. Not saying it's easy, but compared to Guardian, where there's literally no opening. So I was surprised by it too. That's why I wanted to hear his explanation. I like Warrior and Sphero. And Sphero's video edits are insane, by the way.
Yeah. I like him because he put me in his video.
Yeah, he put me in there too. I didn't give him express written consent, but whatever, he did it anyway.
Strike that shit, man.
I'm just kidding. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure he'll put up a video with the rest of those duels eventually.
You guys put on like a really cool podcast, and like the Warrior thing with Sphero just got like real weird real quick. To the point where he came in, he was just like, "Hey, I feel like I got accosted on this podcast. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she's like really got something either against you or Warriors or both." Or it's just funny. It was
funny too, because one of the changes that he said that would help Warrior in large scale, because I think like most people agree Warrior's really strong in 1v1, maybe in 2v2, 3v3, but in large scale it still struggles because it has, it's melee and wizards exist.
Mm-hmm.
So it struggles, and I was asking him what they could do differently, and he said give Solar Flare super armor, which just pissed everybody off. Lo and behold, Bond skills come out and now Solar Flare's getting super armor. So
I think he said frontal guard, actually. Give frontal guard back because it used to have frontal guard.
It never had frontal guard.
Yeah, never had frontal
guard. Overwhelm didn't have frontal guard. But Solar Flare had frontal guard.
No, Armor Break had frontal guard. Solar Flare never had forward guard.
I hope they never add bonds.
Solar Flare wasn't even super armor. It's just because of the lingering, right?
You would block it. You would get the lingering super armor, and then you would.
That's what it was. Okay, that's what it was. Right, so you would block dash block, so you'd have that lingering super armor. That was egregious. I can't believe that actually existed in this game.
It's crazy to think about, right? And think of CC changes never happened, and Guardian existed in that state too. Like, oh my god, it's kind of crazy. I mean, maybe more you. How do you feel about it? Because my argument with the Solar Flare getting super armor wasn't so much a balance thing, but if I was a Warrior, I feel like Solar Flare is so fast that's not really like the main thing that you'd be getting caught out of. I'd rather have something else.
Disengaging is the issue. I think disengaging in large scale is the issue with Warrior. Like once you're in, you're not getting out. You're just gonna die.
Right.
Well, it's the same with
Phoenix dive or some bullshit skill to just Alt F4 when the fight's going bad.
Yeah, I feel like that's the problem with all melee classes, because the long range damage, you're taking damage on the in and the out. And so you have to go in, get a kill, and then go out, and while taking damage the entire time. It's just not reasonable.
All these other melee classes can iframe spam, just dance their way out. Like with Warrior, you've got your head chase, and then you're pretty much open to get CC'd.
That's always my response whenever a Moose or Mayweather tells me that they want to give them a grab. I was like, you guys can have a grab, but then they have to change the name of chase to head chase, and it's an iframe only every 2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good. I like that, actually.
Live that tough life, dude.
I think that's all the questions or like fandom I really had to bring up. You started your stream not too long ago, right? You're relatively new to like actually streaming pretty regularly.
Yeah, I'm a COVID streamer.
You're a COVID streamer. You got a kickoff from. You made a video about 1v1ing choice, right?
Resler made that video, which he did a very good job on that, because he did the split view where you'd see one view but hear the other person talking and go back and forth. It was actually really cool. Yeah, 1v1 choice just randomly for about 35 minutes. But you know what I find really funny, because we fought. There were 9 total deaths. And the outcome was I won 5-4. But everyone that saw the video is like, hey, man, I saw you lose to choice. So bad, dude. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? It was 5-4. But the fights were like so long and drawn out, you lost track, because it was literally 30 minutes of fighting, but only 9 total deaths. just because we couldn't kill each other. We couldn't kill each other.
Used to do.
Can you guys not catch each other, or can you not one combo each other?
No, he went to the full. He put on his centaur belt and Sissel neck, so he was like 285 AP and 40 something DP. So I couldn't one combo him, and he couldn't one combo me because I'm also like 363 DP at the time. So it was just funny. I think Rez made it to highlight how busted Kuno is. I'm pretty sure that was his actual motive, but it helped.
Kuno used to be in a really good state. I don't know if it's like when I used to see a Kuno, I'd be like, I don't want to fuck with that, especially like when Succession first came out.
Awakening or Succession?
I play Succession. The Awakening kit is not in a good state, in my opinion. It's just the movement just doesn't really like you can't. It's hard to get around. Ghost Step's really your only protected movement, so
it takes a lot of skill to do movement in Succession Kuno well. That's not easy.
Yeah, it's like decision making. And Suck Kuno is still really powerful. It's just I think it's a little bit watered down right now because in large scale it's so much Whiz Witch and like just the random edge of Frigid Fog or Voltaic Pulse like just ends you as a Kuno. You get CC'd by everything if you're getting hit by that stuff.
Yeah.
So. But in 1v1, it's still super powerful. Like, arguably one of the best, but definitely top 3 at the very least.
What would be your top 5 for 1v1s?
In order? Or just all
It doesn't matter which order. It doesn't matter. People would argue about the semantics of what order, you know?
Yeah. I think Sork, Kuno, Ninja, Striker, and then the 5th is kind of where I struggle. I guess Warrior as well would be up there. So maybe those 5, yeah. I feel pretty confident about those 5. I do think Lon is very good, but I still think all 5 of those classes, like if the best player ever were to play on each, would still win against the Lon on average.
Yeah, I think that's true. The main thing is just catching it. If you can figure out how to reliably catch a Lon, then you win.
On the lower end, an Awakened Lon is going to farm. Like a bad Awakened Lon is going to just completely wreck a bad Awakened Warrior.
Whenever I grab the Lon, I get this weird message that says it's a void status or the target of the actual location is invalid. So, I mean, I'm probably not good at the game. There's something I'm clearly doing wrong. I haven't figured out what it is.
Mode. Yeah, dude. In a void mode. The world's best message. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in California. I don't know if I've ever seen that message pop up, but everyone tells me they get it when they're fighting me, so.
So I've got 19 ping and I get that message.
Yeah. I don't know. Sork, I feel like people
Sork
the balance has changed so much, and Wizard is so prominent right now that's the main focus, and it should be, rightfully so. But people forget how strong Sork is, man. And now that people are playing Awakening again, like
Frosty.
Hard,
oh my god, dude. Go ahead, Potion.
So are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Dear.
I just think it depends on the gear for Sork, though. That's all I was going to say. I think if you're in, like, the upper echelon of gear, the top 1% of the 1%, then I think Sork's weak. But I think if you're, like, at the 269 to 280 area, then I think Sork's really overpowered in that area, just because of how the game's balanced, that AP brackets.
I'm curious what Tim was about to say.
Nothing. We get into Sork conversation.
We just love hearing Potion talk about how Sork isn't completely and clearly fucking busted.
Dude, I mean, we don't have to have a debate about it, but let me just elaborate here a little bit, all right? So,
please.
Sork can basically avoid everything. A good Sork can avoid everything, and you can choose whether you want to mitigate damage with an iframe or a frontal guard, which is incredibly nice. Anyone who uses frontal guards and has quick ones that you can get in and out of knows how powerful that is. Like, a ninja, for example, it makes the fight, like, compare a Suck Ninja to an Awakened Ninja. That frontal guard makes fighting a wizard so much easier because you can just completely negate the damage, recover stamina, and then the next time you go step, you get your shield back. So same thing on Sork, but they're super elusive, and on the low end, their damage isn't great on the low end, but I think that Sorks are slowly starting to realize that they have to basically use a DR build, and it's just kind of like the most efficient thing to do for them, so they can run 2 accuracy accessories and maneuver and still be like 300 plus AP and blow people up. And now their new combo, which we call the Boomer combo, you CC someone, you follow up with Grim Reaper's Judgment, and then you go Karshin's Nightmare. And because the new skill add-ons, you don't even have to use Absolute Darkness anymore because you can put the buffs on Karshin's Nightmare. And it absolutely deletes people. So there's like
you are explaining way too much to the people out here. All right, I've been telling them I've been doing this DR build for PvE for a long time now, and you're telling people the truth now. All right.
Yeah, no, DR build is the way to go.
He's talking about players.
Talking about Ogden.
I think DR is also good lore-wise. You know what I mean on Sork.
We had a discussion about dying in Achman. It was
really people are dying in Achman still.
Potion shop is. That's why he's got DR crystals instead of fucking. Oh my god, I can't even get into it again.
Oh god.
So people at 300 DP they struggle in Achman, right, because of the long CC combos. And so my general advice for those people is just to put in red fang crystals, right? Instead of that's 60 mil versus getting a gear upgrade. So that's
my general advice was use your skills.
Yeah, I like that. That's good advice. I don't know. I guess like that for newer player, yeah. If you're like dying in Achman, but basically if you're 300 DP, you really shouldn't be dying in Achman. And for sure, if you're Tet, you should be running a DR build, but not necessarily your crystal setup. Like if you have Hooms and just like Tet bags, Tet Uragon, Gaiath, and Tree or Red Nose, you should be fine.
DR fucking crystals.
Our dynamic here is we're always about 2 inches away from breaking out to a fist fight, never talking to each other again.
Yeah, but at the high end, the DR build benefits Sork so much because like it's very difficult to catch a Sork. So you don't really need to be super tanky unless you're not super good at the game. I don't think the evasion benefits them very much.
Is it a DR build or is it just a glass cannon build? I mean, it's not really the DR that's here. It's the Begs and the Nuva, right?
Yeah, it's technically a glass cannon build, but the thing is like once you have, especially now with like the way Fallen Gods happening, like once you're 360 DP, like as long as you can take a couple hits, like you're fine. You're probably going to die in one combo. That's okay because you're Sork and you're probably not going to get caught. It's just like when you're using Karshin's Nightmare or Grim Reaper's Judgment or skills like that where you're trying to like trade, you just don't want to die. So DR is enough to prevent you from dying standing up as long as you actually have good like high DP. But enabling a Sork to have high accuracy and high AP just completely changes how they can play and makes them way more scary.
I would like to transition into other games if we could by starting with asking Frosty what other games you are currently playing and or excited about.
All right, so I am excited about Cyberpunk 2077. A little bit. I'm not like as hyped as like the diehard fans, but I'm excited about that game. As far as like MMOs, I'm actually excited for Elion. I think Elion will be fun. I loved playing Terra back in the day, and it's kind of a Terra duplicate. And let's see, Lost Ark. I guess if Amazon actually publishes that next year, that might be kind of fun. And then Blue Protocol, even though there's no PvP, still looks kind of fun. And then games I play, I really don't play that much, but I recently started trying to play League of Legends. I'm a silver player.
Oh my god.
You're going to get trapped.
It's more just friend bonding. All my friends play it, so I was playing with them.
Bond for that game?
That's not how that ends.
Well, that's not how it ends. No, it's become like, it's actually created some of the most vicious, like, heated fights I've ever been a part of with my friend group. So yeah, it actually has like no memes. Like we've gotten into some crazy fights because of it, but it is still super fun. Like when we do 5v5 in-house and everyone says this is just for fun and then everyone's pissed at each other at the end of it.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Right. And then I played some Phasmophobia. That's all right. I don't know if I could be anxious for that long though. I could play like one game a week. And then Red Dead Redemption a little bit and Grand Theft Auto, it's the usual. And I'm still holding out hope. I'm the last one, but I'm still holding out hope that this Anthem rework is gonna be fire, dude.
What?
Dude, it's coming, man.
I think they're going to do an okay job with it. Yeah.
They just announced something recently talking about how Anthem, like they completely changed Anthem's loot and like itemization and stuff. And they said they're going to completely redesign it from the ground up. And it's going to take a little over a year. And they're not even releasing new content for it because the initial game was so bad, but the idea of it was so cool, dude. Just flying around and shooting shit in this big open world looked so fun.
Okay, so how come people are allowed to be hyped for the Anthem rework, but everyone laughs at me when I'm hyped for Bless Unleashed?
All right, that game's shit.
Okay.
All right, that's completely different.
In fairness, this is going to be Anthem's second release. Blessed Unleashed was their 11th.
True.
No, it's their. What do you mean?
It has come out so many times.
No, it's come out in different regions. This is only the second game. It's the first game came out in a bunch of regions, but that's not like multiple releases. That's like saying BDO has come out 11 times.
No.
Well, it failed in all of the regions is the problem.
Yeah,
it's also
so
true.
did Anthem.
But what is the difference in Bless Unleashed?
It's a completely new game.
I thought it was just an Xbox game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming to PC like in a few months. They have a beta next week.
I mean, I'll be happy to hear your stories of it, but I'm too scarred from the franchise IP.
A huge mistake to call it Blessed. They should have just called it something else and pretended like they had no association.
Oh, it just happens to be like Bless, huh?
I'm not kidding. That game
that's similar. Like I think they could have gotten away with like it's not like anyone played Blessed long enough to notice that it's the same IP.
True.
That game is the only game I've ever refunded on Steam in the history of me playing games. Nope, that's not true. I also refunded Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That game was awful. Yeah.
I haven't played any of the Blesses, and I really respect Moreland's opinion on games. We've played a lot of the same games and like a lot of the same ones. Honestly, anybody who played Darkfall for a spell, I'm probably going to play whatever game you think is good. So if he likes Bless Unleashed, it's coming to PC for a beta. I'm going to give it a spin. I skipped all the other Bless shit. Pilioka actually liked Bless Unleashed. So I've got a couple friends that I respect that liked it.
Is Blessed Unleashed going to be a game that people play for a while, or just like a month or two and then they're done?
We talk about this every week, Potion. He goes,
"Is it still tab target?" That's the question.
No, it's not tab target. It's action combat, but it's
that's
it'll be a side game. It'll be a side game. You'll go super hard for a month, and then you'll probably kind of get bored and wait for like the next expansion or the next dungeon or whatever.
Did you play the Xbox version, or did that one ever come out?
Yeah, I played it on Xbox. That's why I think it's a good game.
And in fairness, Moreland, to your point, most people are not excited about Anthem. 95% of the population says the game's trash, it's never going to be good, and fuck BioWare forever. So
that's pretty much what people
I'm the
say.
last holdout. Yeah, I am to Anthem what you are to Blast, basically.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah.
I'm sure Potion Shop has some weird game he simps. I simp Star Wars Galaxies.
Destiny 2 is the game I simp.
Everyone likes Destiny 2, though, at least for a while.
Dude, I know everyone hates Blizzard, but I cannot wait for Diablo 4, dude. I'm a Diablo 4 fanboy forever.
Honestly,
Dude,
I like their quarterly update system they do. It's pretty nice.
The Diablo 3 is fine, like coming out with the different seasons and what they've done with it. It's been years, but like I think the reason why they're coming out with Diablo 4 is the reason that they're going to fail. Like everybody just goes, it's this game's turn. Let's go. It's time for an update. Now they're going, right. They tried that one year. They're like, hey, here's a Diablo on your phone. And they're like, that's fucked up. And then they're like, hey, here's a really bad, like super pre-alpha version of what we could possibly think Diablo 4 might look like. They have no fucking idea what this game's going to look like. And I have zero confidence that it's going to be anywhere near a decent game.
The only thing that I want
to be out for years.
The only thing that I want is I want leaderboards. If they have leaderboards and they reset the leaderboards every season, like that'll be good enough for me.
D3. They did.
Of course they will. They had that D3.
Yeah, I'm saying that's all that I require to be happy. That's literally it.
That's such minimal. Like I don't know. I hope it's fun. I hope it's closer to like Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls launch than the Diablo 3 Classic launch, because that was rough. But awful, I just hope it's slowed down. My thing with like Diablo 3 and Path of Exiles now, it's these hyper speed, like go through, kill everything really quick without looking at it as fast as you can. And I don't know. I hope it's slowed down a little bit and closer to like Diablo 1 and 2, like Classic. Because
that's an interesting take. Yeah, I see you there. I think it's weird. Anybody who plays Diablo sitting in a chair. For me, Diablo is like put it on the PlayStation or Xbox that's connected to like your bedroom TV, and you just like drool on your controller as you pass out, and you just like get legendary loot. You know, you played games for 12 hours and you're going to pretend to go to sleep. Nothing's on Netflix. So you just like grind some riffs. That's how I played Diablo. I can't imagine sitting upright, 2 hands on the keyboard, you know, keyboard, mouse, and playing that game for 10 hours.
Bro, that's literally like how I learned how to grind so long. I didn't have the attention span for it. I honestly didn't.
I would grind D3 from.
I mean, I did too.
I woke up like I probably lost weight because I wouldn't even eat. I just would morning to night. And then I would die because my internet would cut out because my roommate would microwave a burrito, and then I would have to start all over.
But once it came out on console, and I'm like, you know, I just let my gut out laying in a bed, just grinding riffs. I was like, holy shit, this is the actual way to play this game.
I am a little concerned that the console focus will hurt the Diablo 4 franchise, because it does take away some from the game, makes it a little bit more simpler, so it works on a controller.
I mean, the last one works fine on a controller too.
Unless you play Wizard,
it's a 5-button game. Like, what do they need a keyboard for?
There was only 1 or 2 mechanics that got weird on a controller, but I don't think it's gonna. Everything else besides those 1 or 2 mechanics on, I think it was Wizard is the name of the class. I haven't played the game in like 4 years. Made sense and worked perfectly well.
Mm-hmm.
You just had to have like a big enough TV versus like how far away you were to read all the tiny text. Boomer eyes. But you know, I don't have a lot of hope for Diablo 4. I think Diablo 3 did a lot of stuff, and if they were inspired to make the game on their own, you know, inspiration.
They're inspired by money on this case because they lost Destiny and they want to make the money back.
It's still making games because of inspiration. Like, there's no talent left at that company. Who's getting inspired?
Right. Yeah. So saying I'm sorry, but saying you're excited for Diablo 4, kind of weird.
I'm excited for Diablo 4, dude. All right, I want you to know like how fanboy I was in Diablo 2. Like, my friend who was like, he was an only child, so he had 2 computers for some reason. He got a new computer, and his old computer was still faster than my computer, and I couldn't run Diablo 2 when I was a kid on my computer. So I would go to his house, and he had a gaming mouse that he would use on his computer. I had to use that when I would play on his computer. I had to use that ball mouse where you move it with your thumb to play Diablo 2. Like, do you remember those? It's like a short time they used that stupid trackball mouse.
I used to play competitive CS 1.3 with that mouse.
They're really accurate, honestly. They are very accurate, but they are not, like, I think, good long term.
Dude, I was obsessed with Diablo 2, and I still enjoy the lore and the cinematics. Like, that Diablo 4 cinematic trailer got me so hyped.
I think they're gonna play the Diablo 2 remaster.
Are they doing that? Is that
I think they canceled that, didn't they?
They can't cancel that. What the fuck are you saying to me right now?
The developers for Remastered are so bad, and they got.
Wait, you said it was Diablo 2 or 3?
Diablo 2. They're remaking
Diablo 2 remastered. I'd be down. Which version is it going to be? Because like for me, Diablo 2, I lost interest in Diablo 2 when everyone had an Enigma and was teleporting around. It got kind of weird.
I think they're going to try to make it as nostalgic as possible.
I still have my Mephisto running my bot.
Pendlebot, dude. My Pendlebot, dude, thing was hype. Go to school, come home, and you have a win force.
How many SOJs for that?
Dude, do you remember that? It's so funny how the economy got screwed in that game because of duping. It was like, it used to be if you had a Stone of Jordan, you could trade 1 Stone of Jordan for basically any item in the game, and then like duping started happening, and it was like, all right, I want a win force. Okay, that'll be 45 SOJs.
Yep.
It's like, what?
Do you think they're going to go back to that and remove like gold or silver or whatever? So you have to actually trade items for items again?
The problem is people are too sophisticated at exploiting and cheating shit. So like trading always ends up being like a bad thing nowadays.
Yeah,
I kind of like how Diablo 3 did it in the end, where they just got rid of the market and made it fairly easy to self-find everything.
I should do that in BDO.
I like it that in Diablo 3 you can actually, if you like get an item that your buddy needs, you can drop it on the ground while they're in your party when you got it. I think that's a really good compromise.
Dude, that was the other thing. My friend had the fastest computer, and I don't know if you remember this, Tim, from Diablo 2, but like if you had a bad computer, when a boss would die, there was just a huge lag spike for like 3 seconds. So he would literally get all of the loot every time. And he was such a selfish asshole. He wouldn't even if it was something he already had, he wouldn't let me have it. He would just trade it. I'm like, dude, I hate playing with you so much. Yeah, it was like first come, first serve on loot in that game. So if you had a better computer, you got the loot.
The Destiny 2 update, Beyond Light, which is going to be basically, for all intents and purposes, Destiny 3, comes out November 10th, I think it's the date. Looking forward to playing that.
I'm looking forward to watching you play that, man.
Yeah, I plan on streaming at least the first day of it. We'll see after that.
What you're saying, it's kind of a Destiny 3, or is it actually called Destiny 3?
It's, for all intents and purposes, it's Destiny 3. It's Destiny 3 with keeping the name Destiny 2. That's basically the way to think about it. They're removing old content. They're releasing new content. They're reworking class systems. Like, if you put a Destiny 3 title on it, you would believe it. That's how much.
Why do you think they don't just make Destiny 3?
Because they want to be seen as like a long-term service game rather than a game that comes out with new updates all the time. And I think on top of that, I think when you put Destiny 3 title on something, people have really big expectations. And I don't think with their current finances that they can meet those expectations. So I think
you said Destiny's no longer a part of Blizzard?
Yeah, they're completely separate now.
Launcher? Oh, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people are concerned because it's on Steam now, and Steam doesn't have as good anti-cheat, so people are worried that there's going to be a lot more hackers in it now.
This might be more niche news, but StarCraft 2, which I'm a big fan of that too. I still watch pro StarCraft matches. StarCraft 2 is no longer developing any new content.
Yeah, that's
balance
official
patches for the esports scene, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm really sad about that. I honestly enjoyed the map creator in that a lot. Played with it. I probably put like close to 500 hours making maps and stuff. I never got into the competitive side of things, but I understand. I hope this means that they're going to be doing a new franchise for Warcraft. But, or I mean StarCraft.
Like a new RTS, or what do you mean?
Well, I don't know, like a new RTS, or like maybe they're going to do a Warcraft RTS, and then they'll do like a shooter maybe as well. I don't know.
Warcraft 4 POG?
That'd be interesting. I think they could do it.
No, they can't. Not this Blizzard.
They're not gonna do it.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not
kind of
gonna
weird
do it.
actually that Diablo 4 got announced before Warcraft 4. I actually find it a little bit offensive.
actually not wrong. Yeah, it's been such a long time. I guess it's because they have the World of Warcraft franchise still chugging along.
Yeah, it's 2 decades though. I think they could scrape something together.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's my hope. I don't know why they won't just like create a new World of Warcraft from scratch with like updated combat and graphics and stuff.
They tried to years ago and they scrapped it.
It's called Bless Unleashed.
It's called Bless. Did their hand in that, huh? Oh god.
I haven't been doing much with other games. As time goes on and this new invites for New World goes out, there's like more interest in my chat and Discord and stuff like that. I'm really just excited to get back into a video game and claim that I'm the second coming of Christ in it. So I can't wait to get back in that game. But outside of that, I've been.
Your next thing is, did you get a key or I don't know?
I didn't get a key. I'd love to see what they did. They added like a new weapon and all the patch notes look great. I'd love to do a war or something like that, and then not telling you about it.
I know Ashes of Creation is doing their next test in March, so maybe they'll try to do some competition with that by releasing one maybe early or after that. That'd be nice. So hopefully around next March we'll get another preview. That'd be good.
I want to do as many fresh starts in this game as I possibly can. So I'm just.
It honestly wouldn't be bad for them just to do a fresh start and say, hey, the servers are up for 3 months, and then we'll take them back down, and we'll release another update, and it'll be another fresh start. We have like 2 fresh starts a year, 3 fresh starts a year.
I'm really kind of surprised that the entire MMO genre hasn't figured that out yet. That they need to just start releasing their games as seasons instead of as this like new expansion every 1 to 2 years model.
I mean, the thing that I'm most excited for right now is the Star Wars Galaxies emulator server doing a full wipe and starting fresh. Like that's gonna be my stream for a solid fucking month when that happens.
I'm about to fucking go devour this Kunark expansion from the year 2000 when that releases next week.
What'd you say last week? This is the state of MMOs right now. Is we're all excited for MMOs re-releasing from 2000.
Yeah, I don't know what. Just do fresh starts for games that we know are good. Quit trying to make shitty new ones.
Dude, that's there's so many. Wait, I wanted to ask real quick. I was told the CC system's really frustrating in New World because you can be like CC chained forever. Is that still the case, or did you feel that way?
Yeah, it kind of depends on your ping. You can get out of it, but if you run out of stamina, then you would get CC'd super hard. I think people made a bigger deal out of it than I think they needed to just kind of get good a little bit, but also I think they're rebalancing that in the next test.
They already did. So it's if you get hit I think it's 3 times in a row, you can roll away for no stamina cost, which is like it's actually, even though I didn't think it was super broken, like you just had to kind of position yourself correctly and not be bad at the game. It's still a really good fix. Like it's a good skill floor increase that is going to stop a lot of whining.
Yeah,
and sometimes you get caught up in that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that a poise system would have been better. We'll see how it plays out. I'm worried that game is going to become a running simulator. If there's not enough CC, people are just going to teleport away and just run for fucking hours.
Well, they decrease the amount that you could teleport by and massively increase the cooldown for it. So
but it's disengage either way, right? Like you teleport and then they teleport, and it's like if you can't hit them and catch them and stun them again, then bye-bye.
But you're going to have like hatchet throws for days to catch them on. And you're already a god at that, so you're going to be able to show off your god gaming way.
Yeah, that's true. If they increase they reduce the distance, they increase the cooldown, then you have some range catch that you can use. That's true.
And there's no global cooldowns anymore, so you can
you can actually use that shit. Yeah, you're right. That's going to be a big improvement.
They need a cripple shot to the gun. You had a gun, and you had a cripple shot to the knee.
Their patch notes are actually Johnny on the spot. I was really impressed with their patch notes. It was like exactly what the community was saying, what we were saying. It was all in line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, combat in that game could still be really fucking good if they keep doing this.
My main concern is that the tick rate of the servers will be low just because of Amazon web servers. That's the really only thing that I'm a little concerned about. Because I don't know if that's something that they can actually address.
This server? I mean, we've already played the game.
I was playing on Moreland's side of the country from Florida, so I didn't think it was terrible, but I was like, oh, there's 100 MS every once in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we can do
central. Blocking was definitely easier to do if you had low ping, but I felt like the netcode overall was really fucking smooth. Like hitting people with the shit from far away while they were moving. There was no desync, no rubber banding. It was actually pretty solid.
Yeah, we're doing central next time, Marlon.
If there's a central, I'll play on central. I thought it was only east and west.
Oh wait, it wasn't it? Why would they not have Chicago or Texas? What?
Bro, why don't all these MMOs have central servers? It's so weird.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh, there was central.
I want to mention DMCA real quick because there was some updates on this. They basically have RCIA, I believe is what it's called, and it's technology developed to live DMCA streamers, so you could now have a VOD or a clip and get DMCA'd. Soda Poppin' and Jake and Bake, which are 2 different big streamers, both got DMCAs for old content. We haven't seen anybody get DMCA'd for live content yet, but it is baked into the technology that's these DMCAs are being used for. So I think it's only a matter of time. I think it's really just like we're just starting to see some people starting to catch on to this new technology, and you can just go to their website and sign up for it and start using it. It's not even that hard.
So I saw something about how they might be deleting Recval's old VODs because of this shit. Has anyone heard about that?
What's going on with that?
I mean, just these DMCA cunts that are out to fucking ruin everything for no reason. It's not like they're losing money because people are watching VODs from 2009.
Yeah.
I want to listen to the new Taylor Swift album. I better go pull up a Soda Poppin' VOD from 2015 and listen to it with him talking over it. That's clearly how people consume their fucking music.
Who's the responsibility fall to then? Because, does this fall to whoever owns
the music people need to just get out of their own goddamn way. Like, just have a rule to where if you're playing a song, you have to put the artist in the song on your stream.
Sure, I agree. And
then it's free publicity, and just shut the fuck up about it and go live your life. Like,
I understand. I understand what you're saying, but the DMCA law, they're just going to abuse it to the nth degree, right? So
the thing, I want to say real quick. So I play drums. I play in a band, and as a newer artist that doesn't have any following whatsoever, there is like Twitch is what the radio used to be. Like if I'm a small streamer and I regularly have people ask, what song is this? What artist is this? On streams like, I don't know, huge streams, big, like whatever, like even outside of BDO, people that are streaming Valorant and Fortnite, like when they have it is such a huge like marketing tool to have the music there. There is no way you could convince me that someone is losing money because of the stream. Like there's just no way. Like if I don't know, if one of these big streamers played my band's song, it would literally be like hearing your song on the radio. Like that's how you'd feel about it for the first time, your own song. You'd be so hyped about it. Especially if people start out, like I'd go in the chat like, hey, what song is this? Like just to promote myself to get it like shown. Like that would be so big.
Yeah.
If they would just make a service, like a licensing service that you could sign up for, everyone would pay money. Like whatever Spotify pays to play what, like 0.2 cents a song that they pay, streamers will pay that too. Like give me a monthly thing that's $30 or $80 or whatever it comes out to for my like hours that I stream, and allow just like, fine, I'll pay you. It's your music. I get it. But like, why do you want to just go around destroying content that's not even like related to the people who are normally consuming your music? It's so silly.
Yeah. There are artists, big and small, that have been the background music in a clip that has like 1, 2, 3 million views, that they've literally benefited from it hugely.
Yeah. I think one of the strangest things about it all is like, even some of the artists themselves, like Kanye West had to like recently get his own rights to his music back, and like who was the other person? There's tons of these huge artists that are the most popular people in the world. Like they can't get their own music. They don't own their own music. Most of them, these labels own them. And
the guitarist Dragon Force got DMCA'd for having his own music on his stream.
That's a whole other, I can't imagine that, man.
Yeah, but that band does not own his music. The record label does. Yeah. And he probably did not purchase the rights from his record label to play it.
That is so insane.
We're all going to be stuck playing this nonchalant, hard to identify house music forever. Dude, none of these artists are going to get discovered.
It's actually funny you bring up Dragon Force, because I have a playlist that I really like of that type of music. And the reason I don't play it on stream is because I've gotten DMCA'd for playing Dragon Force before.
I've been playing jazz standards. And hopefully that's like a really good work around the DMCA thing, because I don't think those record companies are even still alive.
Yeah, no, those artists are used to getting their stuff stolen. You should be fine.
Well, I mean, they all play from a music book called The Real Book, so.
I'm just kidding. It's an old-timey jazz joke, dude.
Yeah, T-Pain got DMCA strike on his own song, too. You don't own your own music. Welcome to the music industry.
Yeah, it's just insane. I don't know. I think ultimately we're probably at a tipping point where within the next couple of years, we're going to see the people that have been getting screwed over by the music industry start getting old enough to go into Congress and stuff, and they're just going to start changing laws.
Tipping point. Oh, I mean, this has been a problem for decades.
Well, yeah,
it's been a problem since the dawn of the internet.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think, but that's only been like 30 years, which means you can't serve in government. So because you're too young.
The people who own these record labels are always going to be shifty cunts. They're never ever going to be good people. What good people want to own a record label, dude? Like, it's the whole industry is so corrupt and garbage and outdated.
Yep, I agree.
You have to be 35 to be the president, not to be in Congress.
I don't think there's an age for Congress then, huh?
You have to be 25.
If you want to be in Congress or be the president, you're already suspect to begin with. You know what
I mean? Shout out to the Midnight. They have openly give permission to all streamers to use their music whenever they want on stream.
It's a bait, dude. They're gonna DMCA us the second you play it.
Then sue your ass for millions.
Because it doesn't get DMCA'd. And you know how many people from my stream listen to the Midnight now because of that shit?
It's true.
Oh, not me.
Never heard of them. I'll give them a listen.
All right. Was there anything else we want to talk about?
No, I'm getting yelled at from randoms in my chat that I'm not playing BDO and I'm abusing Twitch and I'm getting reported. So I really need to tie this up so I can put BDO back on my screen before I get
what's on your screen?
Us four in the Nerds and Words background. I don't show BDO while I do this.
Yeah, I don't think they can actually report you for that, but whatever.
Well, I don't.
We're talking about BDO. It's fine.
Well, we weren't for 15 minutes, so.
Yikes.
Gosh.
So if I'm not here next week, my Twitch channel is banned and I'm in shambles. But that was Nerds and Words episode 22. Frosty, thank you so much for coming through. You're very knowledgeable, well-spoken, and a little too polite, but we still suffered through you coming in here. Let's roll out the red carpet for you, my friend. Tell us what we can expect from your channel, twitch.tv/SoFrosty. Plug your podcast, whatever you want to talk about. Plug away, my friend.
Yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/SoFrosty. I will just be grinding, making fun of Potion Shop. I do have to address one thing with Potion Shop real quick that he mentioned. I saw on a stream, I played the clip on my stream. We need to talk about it. He said that the most busted movement in the game was Awakening Ranger, and I would love for him to elaborate on that because I think every Ranger was super confused and every non-Ranger was super confused.
I'm pretty sure that clip got 3,000 views because it went to Reddit and the Reddit lords had a field day. You have to understand.
Someone asked you, first of all, the question was weird. Someone asked you, what is the longest iframe in the game? And you said, what's the longest? I don't know what the longest is, but the most busted is Ranger's Awakening iframe. Not only is it super fast, but it's also unlimited. I memorized
all right.
it.
I'm going to plead comedic relief and that I just did it for entertainment content. I have to throw the Redditors a bone every so often so they come by. I just bait them in every so often. This little bit.
He says all this stuff on purpose. He doesn't mean
That's
it.
fair.
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like the number one response is always like, "Wait, doesn't he play Sork?"
No. So the context though of the Ranger comment was I had a Ranger that had like glitchy movement that I tried killing, and no one could tell me why it was, and so
I can explain it.
Yeah,
if you want.
I sure, but yeah, that was the reason for that comment. But I don't really like. I don't think Rangers are the most strong anymore. I've changed my opinion since then on that. To be honest,
well, their iframe that is quote unquote unlimited is evasive explosive shot, which is like it's a bug that they removed from the game and then put back in the game because when it got removed there was outrage. But basically, when they use EES while it's off of cooldown, it's an iframe, and then when they use it a second time, it's an iframe, and then when they use it a third time it's not, and then the second time it's an iframe. So every other time it's an iframe, and then when it's off of cooldown it's an iframe. So that's what they spam to try to evade, and it feels sometimes, because the timing is weird, it's really hard to hit them when they're spamming it.
Bro, I was so confused. I was like, they're what's going on? I don't get it.
Damn. Anyway, that's all. So we'll be talking more about lore on my stream and cool stuff like that now that I've gotten into it and how dots feed into it. We got now the dots are lore. They're important because they're lore from Potion Shop. And then we have I think Shaky Base said that dots pierce through evasion and ninjas use really high powered dot combos for evasion. So we got a lot of good material we're going to talk about.
What?
Yeah, that was a thing.
I feel like you took the most really extreme examples out of the entire podcast and accumulated them into a single statement. I'm not sure if I should be impressed by that you remembered all those details or what.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, dude. I'm hyped.
I'm
thank
hyped.
you guys so much for having me on. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, stay in the Discord. Come back sometime.
Will do, man.
Potion Shop, what do you got going on your stream this week?
I'm currently getting 1,000 skill points, technically 950 on this Dark Knight. I'll be getting at least 1,000 on my Kuno because I want to play Kuno. And I got to get 1,500 on also my... What's the other character? Meiwa. And so that's what I'm doing this week. On top of that, we'll be continuing to grind at Thorn Forest and just shooting the shit. And watching the world burn after the elections. So...
How about you, Marlon?
So on election day, I will be playing the new Fractured Alpha. I think that's coming out on the 4th. So I'll probably do the BDO patch for a little bit and then switch over to Fractured and see what kind of changes they've made. It's supposed to be pretty packed on launch day, so that could be kind of fun, seeing everyone run around and flag up for some PvP and see how that game's coming along. On the 5th is the next test for Bless. I haven't played the PC version yet, so I'll probably check that out, but probably only for a day since it's just a beta. And then on the 6th, we got Ruins of Kunark dropping for Project 99. I'm pretty much just gonna not do anything except for that for a while, I think.
Are you going to wake up early on the 5th, maybe?
For Bless?
Yeah.
Probably not. I don't care that much. If it was the actual launch, I would, but for the beta, I'll just kind of hop on and check it out. I mainly just want to see how the UI is doing, because the first beta, the UI looked like shit. So I want to see how they're porting it over from console and if it's actually going to work well.
Fair enough. Sounds eclectic. Good week. For me, I am anxiously awaiting maybe a YouTuber too that may be made that may bring up my name to review. And I'm going to continue grinding some RBF with Succession. And then I have, I'm going to make a Succession video. I made a Guardian, basic Guardian Awakening video for Xbox. And I'll try to make a Succession one and try to be as knowledgeable as I possibly can about it, if I can, in the next couple days. And actually, I'm trying to put something together. The Ursha boys want to bring you, me, and Pelioka back for one more siege. What do you think about that?
I'm a kind of a gearlet on Xbox now, right? Isn't everyone going to be
180 AP, man? But they want me to shot call.
Yikes! Maybe I'll have to go dig my Xbox out of the closet.
Same, but it sounds like fun. But anyway, so. Thank you all for listening. We are on Potion Shop's YouTube and on Spotify. I'm sure you can hit a command in your favorite streamer stream. Mine's !Podcast. We are live on each other's Twitch's streams every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys so very much. Frosty, thanks again for coming. Have an excellent week, and we'll catch you all next week.